3 in offence, and East Point marginally ahead, 7 points on average per game, whilst the Devils concede 7 points less average per game. So what does that equal? Well, in a nutshell, a draw. Good luck seeing one of those today, Sammy, but I'll tell you what, needless to say, we'd be in for a nail-biter nonetheless.
Well, that's exactly it, Todd, and you look at, even the scoring at either end with both sides. At one end you've got Rodder, he kicked 56 goals in the home and away season, won the locker this year with Ryan Carter. Then you go at the other end and you've got, Jordan Johnson, 51 himself. Started the year with a house on fire. I mean, arguably when it comes to that Henderson medal race this year, he's going to be right up there just with how well he started the season. I mean, back to back best on grounds at one point. He had a terrific start, and with 51 goals just shows how much of an important player he's going to be this afternoon, even though there's a little bit of word going around he's carrying a slight ankle complaint, and that has hampered him in the week, but playing, and that's the most important thing for East Point fans. If
you've just joined us via Apple 98.5 FM, the news to break, of course, no Brett Bewley today for Darley. And Sammy, you were at East Point versus Melton in that most memorable 14-goal third term from the Bloods. Geordie Johnston played in that game, and that was the game that he went down with that ankle injury. And it's been reported during the week that he did suffer some ankle or ligament damage. So I don't anticipate he's going to be 100%. It'll be interesting to see how deep forward he plays today.
Well, that's the thing, Todd. I mean, in the second half of that game, the beauty of Geordie has always been his motive to get up the ground and then basically get his defender on the way back. So he was very hampered, couldn't really leave forward 50, and when that avalanche of 14 goals, the natural thing would have always been to put their marquee high flyer and Geordie Johnson behind the footy to clunk a few in defence, but he just couldn't get any weight on that ankle really, and couldn't get any power through the contest. So they couldn't stop the bleeding, and on a day like today as well, perfect for footy. If Darley can get the ball out of the middle with their likely sorts of Lance and Baker, and Rodder can actually get some separation inside forward 50, doesn't have 6 blokes hanging off him, it could be a really good contest, because obviously we know about the issues that East Point have had inside their back six this year, basically stopping high scores in short periods of time.
Yeah, the grounds in Super Nick, sunny skies overhead. It's a terrific winter's day here in Ballarat, albeit a couple of days shy of winter. The umpires have entered the ground. Darley just going through their warm-ups at the moment. We're still to wait for East Point to grace us with their presence. And before we go to a break and welcome the rest of the crew this afternoon, Matty Johnson, not named in the side on Thursday night online. I'm not sure whether they were playing funny buggers, but he'd been reinstated, but a bit of investigation post the Thursday night selection. The feedback was that he had a slight hamstring complaint, so at least he's got no Brett Bewley to contend with today, but naturally his importance is, invaluable for the Kangas' chances today.
Yeah, I mean, he's the on-field leader, of course, being the captain, but just Mr. Consistent from them this year. 10 times been in Jake Bridges' best. Hits the scoreboard as well, with pretty much close to a goal a game as well. So he's an important unit along with his brother today. So I think the combination of him and Merritt to the midfield is going to be, with the absence of Bewley, the big telling point of this afternoon's clash.
Yeah, you spoke up Dylan Lant earlier, of course. He's 8 games. Darley has 7 wins and 1 loss. And unfortunately for the Devils, that 1 loss that Dylan Lant did suffer was against East Point, and happened to be in Ballarat at Eastern Oval back in round 9 when the Devils were first up after a 21-day break. They went down by 33 points after leading by 10 at the half, whilst they got on the rebound in round 15. Darley defeated East Point by 30 points. So there's nothing in it. The forward says 7 points by East, and the defence says 7 points to the Devils. So the numbers are tipping in a draw. So stick with us right throughout this afternoon on Apple 98.5 FM and via the Vision, thanks to Red Onion and the Clutch TV app. A break and back with the big one, the elimination final, live from City Oval.
This broadcast of BFL Game Day is proudly sponsored by Western Screens, Blinds and Awnings, 35A Griffith Street, Bacchus Marsh. Phone 5370-1478.
This quarter is proudly sponsored by Anytime Fitness, 72 Bennett Street, Bacchus Marsh. Mention BFL Game Day on Apple 98.5 FM to receive 50% off your joining fee plus a free towel and water bottle.
Community radio made in Bacchus Marsh. Apple 98.5 FM.
Ferguson Player Bakehouse, 151A Main Street, for all your hot and cold pastries, sweets, teas and coffees, cold drinks and specialty cakes for all occasions, made to order or choose from their range on display. Under current conditions, dine-in COVID-safe rules apply and masks must be worn in the store. Phone 5367 7077 to place an order or book a table. Ferguson Player is a proud sponsor of Apple 98.5 FM.
Jeff Jones Plants and Produce for all your fresh fruit and veggies. All summer produce available. Stone fruit, mangoes, apricots, nectarines, plums and of course their magnificent strawberries and cherries. All year round they have seedlings, potting mix and manure. Come and meet their friendly staff and savour the fresh fruit and vegetables. Jeff Jones Plants and Produce, 388 the Avenue of Honour in Bacchus Marsh, a proud sponsor of Apple 98.5 FM.
Embroidery Melton are soon to become fully promoted Melton. Only the name and premises will be changing. They will still have the same great promotional products, workwear and service to help you get your business or club recognised in the community. Embroidery Melton help Apple 98.5 FM become fully promoted and can do the same for you. Call Frank on 9743 2550, proud sponsor of this station.
Welcome back to City Oval ahead of the elimination final between Darley and East-Point, 4th v 5th. Earlier games completed today. Sunbury defeated Darley in the under-19s and East-Point downed North Ballarat in the reserves. No time clock have been informed and no scoreboard, so we'll be endeavouring to keep you updated right throughout the afternoon with just that, the score and the time, with an old-fashioned stopwatch, albeit on the iPhone in front of us, and we'll keep update scores right throughout the afternoon as we welcome Spence Jenks and Fridge to the panel. Good afternoon, boys.
Afternoon, Toddy. G'day, Sammy.
Afternoon, Todd, and I only thought technology was bad in the marsh, but once again they haven't failed to let us down again here, Todd.
Yeah, looking forward to a ripper though, Fridge. What are you looking forward to seeing this afternoon, Spence?
I've just quickly noticed, Toddy, that Matty Johnston led the East-Point boys out, so there would have been a sigh of relief for the East fans here, but yeah, without Brett Bewley, I'm hoping that the Devils can put up a good fight. I mean, the likes of Lant and Baker have been really good for the Devils, so although without Bewley they're going to give it a good fight, and we've got a beautiful day for finals footy here at the City Oval, and yeah, really excited by it.
So we'll get a tip from you, Spence, before the players disperse to either end.
Yeah, I went Darley on the presser at Wednesday night, but without Bewley I'm going to swing back to East-Point.
Fridge?
Yeah, massive loss for the Devils in Bewley being out of the side, Todd, but look, Baker and Lant, they're A-graders, and they'll step up to the plate, and I really do believe that it'll be one at either end, Todd, and I'm going to stick with Darley.
The Geordie Johnson matchup's an interesting one. Duncan Cadman had the job at their first meet in round 9, where Johnson got off the leash and kicked 9 goals to be the difference in the end. Well, the matchup did change at Darley Park, and Mace Cousins was given the duties, and while Geordie Johnson was a bit errant on goal, he did keep the star of the show, be it JJ, to just the one. Sammy, do you imagine Mace Cousins will get a crack at him first up?
Yeah, I'd say after his good performance last time around, they'll go with that as the early first crack. I mean, the reality is with a guy like Geordie Johnson is you've got to be wary about his ability in the air, but also he's pretty fleet-footed around the ground. So and he's going, even with that ankle complaint that he's carrying, he'll still do his best to get up and down the ground as much as possible. So that's the thing you've got to be really careful about with Geordie, because he's a high runner, so you can't necessarily put a lockdown defender on him because he'll burn him up the ground. So yeah, Cousins for mine is the natural first selection.
No real breeze to speak of at either end, Spence. Both games earlier on today saw sides being able to score at both ends. The start all important. You don't want to be playing catch up in finals.
No, well, it makes for an even contest, Toddy, with the beautiful conditions we've got here at the City Oval, and obviously Redan's home ground, and Jarrett Giampolo said that they didn't really train on it in their last round of the season. Obviously they missed out on finals, so it's in pretty good condition. Looking here from inside behind the glass here, Toddy, and like you said, an early start, it will be too hard to catch up, I think, because there's no wind to favour to get you back into the game, and that'll be the key, I think, for the Devils to start well and then put East under the pump. Otherwise, if East start well, it might be a big mountain to climb.
Yeah, big effort, heavily reliant on Nick Rodder on the goal front. The Devils, he leads the way with 56 goals, and it really is a drop off the cliff to the next best with no Bewley in the team. Andy Azzopardi has 14 and Dylan Lant 12 from his 8 games. But they've been a little bit more encouraging forward of centre, the Devils, in recent weeks, Fridge, and no doubt they'll be hoping for some contributions from their small forwards today.
Yeah, absolutely. Their focal point is Rodder, and obviously, but look, I believe it gives the others a chance that the smaller forwards to be able to step up. Well, there could be two or three that fly with Rodder in defence with East-Point, and just frees up those small forwards to get that opportunity to kick goals and enable to help Rodder, with scoring goals, Todd.
All right, guys, both teams, as mentioned, are on the ground. We're not far off a start here to get play underway.
This broadcast
we'll be back
of
straight after this break.
Day is proudly sponsored by Western Screens, Blinds and Awnings, 35A Griffith Street, Bacchus Marsh. Phone 53701478.
This quarter is proudly sponsored by Anytime Fitness, 72 Bennett Street, Bacchus Marsh. Mention VFL Game Day on Apple 98.5 FM to receive 50% off your joining fee plus a free towel and water bottle.
Community radio made in Bacchus Marsh. Apple 98.5 FM.
Embroidered Me Melton are soon to become Fully Promoted Melton. Only the name and premises will be changing. They will still have the same great promotional products, workwear and service to help you get your business or club recognised in the community. Embroidered Me Melton help Apple 98.5 FM become fully promoted and can do the same for you. Call Frank on 9743 2550, proud sponsor of this station.
Ferguson Player Bakehouse, 151A Main Street, for all your hot and cold pastries, sweets, teas and coffees, cold drinks and specialty cakes for all occasions, made to order or choose from their range on display. Under current conditions, dine-in COVID-safe rules apply and masks must be worn in the store. Phone 5367 7077 to place an order or book a table. Ferguson Player is a proud sponsor of Apple 98.5 FM.
Welcome back to City Oval, not far off a start here for Elimination Final 1. Darley+v+East+Point. Perfect conditions for football. Just a slight breeze just going over to the non-functioning scoreboard forward pocket today, Sammy.
Yeah, and there's no excuses for players today. That's the main thing, and it's going to be a really great contest to see how it's won at the source without Bewley for the Devils. Looks like they're getting into position, Todd, and ready to get things going here. And 98.5 Apple FM's match of the round, and of course, is the first elimination final between the Darley Devils and East-Point, and of course, streaming thanks to our good friends of Red Onion live on Clutch TV for all the action here and to get us underway. Todd, you have the honours here.
Indeed, Sammy, thanks very much. Play to get underway for the elimination final here live from City Oval. Darley kicking to the left of screen. East-Point to the scoreboard end. Here's the ball up, played away. First tap to Van Meel. Ball at ground level. Lant in and under first. First all-important possession, crucial. Young goes crashing through for the Devils. But typical finals fashion, there's an early stoppage. There's the anxiety and anticipation of players. It's bees to a honeypot. Van Meel again with the quick tap. Ball at ground level and again a repeat stoppage. So Darley kicking to the left of screen in this opening term. Ball up. Tap won by Tanner. Hurry kick across the body. First kick of the afternoon to Rodder Moronis. Cousins held without it. The umpire called play on. Quick answer. Marr got it over to Cairns. Long shot on goal for East-Point. Goes off to the left. Missed everything out of bounds on the full first forward 50 entry of the day to the Kangas.
You mentioned Mace Cousins, Toddy, and he's got the job on Geordie Johnston to start, and young Bailey Young has started on Matty Johnston, Geordie's brother, so two of the two Johnston brothers, probably the two most important players for East, and it's Young and Cousins to have the first crack.
Leonard brought back in, found its way to Brett, with the left side, nice pass, and now the Devils look to come transition towards the broadcast side. Nice ball, should find Bewley. He marks, gives it to the running man, and here you go, the Devils through Ward. Sends a long thumping ball for the first time inside 50. One-on-one contest for right of the reach up, take the mark. Couldn't quite bring it down. Nice tackle and defence there by East-Point. We'll lock things up 35 from goal.
Fridge, couple of matchups.
Rodder with Dallas Martin and Baker on Mika.
Devils deep into attack. Forward 50 apiece here early on. There's the tap. Only as far as well. Nesta just got hustled out of it. Somehow fell back in Riggs' hands, dispossessed. Bailey Young with a pot shot at the goals. And off to the left for a minor score. First score of the afternoon. Darley 1 behind, lead East-Point, no score.
Merritt's going to bring the kicking duties here. Something that he's done at times in season 2022. Going
to be coaching the Kangas in 2023 too, something.
Of course, taken over from Jake Bridges, who's got a couple of premierships and is trying to get number 3. Merritt will come back towards the broadcast side. High ball. Johnson will be the natural fry from the side. Won't get there though. Young plonked himself to that one. Couldn't bring it down. Ratomo owners looking for Taylor. Just knocked his own advantage in the end. That was good by Taylor. Good tackle by Bewley coming through though. Held him up in the contest. Tillman overran it. Bewley goes again. Quick kick by Lance. Inside 50. Bouncing ball for the East-Point defence to deal with. Rodder trailing Martin there. Picks it up, gets away, and in the end just turns on the afterburners. Kick wasn't great coming out of the defence. Canny out to meet this one. Heavily confronted at centre-half back, and a stoppage will ensue here. We played almost 3 minutes in the opening term here. It's 1 point the Devils leading in the early proceedings.
How you see it, Spence?
Yeah, very high-pressure game as we expect. Toddy in an elimination final, obviously do or die for both sides, so it's good to see.
Half forward for the Devils. There's the tap again, won by Van Meel. Loose ball, get opportunity here for... might have been Loby there with the quick hands who got it to Rodamaronis. Bit of a 1-2 by hand here. Allowed a chance as a party to impact the contest as East-Point clear off half-back. The kick's okay and the mark's been taken by Walsh. So defensive side of centre wing can go short. And Matty Johnson will get his first mark and disposal of the afternoon. Right foot kick towards half-forward. Goes searching for Geordie Johnson. One grab, excellent grab, and he'll send the Kangas into attack.
Yeah, quickly try and move the ball, and out the back it looks to go. Brown starting forward this afternoon, wants to see it there. Leonard comes across to add support. McDougall here, he's a crafty player and sends it to the top of the square, to the dangerous spot. And right place, right time. Jesse Cairns marks 20 out directly in front and should go back and kick the first goal of the elimination final.
Smart footy there, not wanting to blaze away. Looked, centred it and found the right result.
So Cairns, since coming back into the side after a stint in reserves, has been uber consistent in the midfield for East-Point and starts the elimination final in not expected fashion. Minor score across the face of goal. It's 1 point apiece here.
Important to take the opportunities, especially early in the final, so Jesse Cairns will be disappointed with that. He's still young enough to be in the under-19, so that would have been good for his confidence in early goal, but nevertheless it's a behind and Darley will look to transition from the back line.
Point apiece here, opening minutes. Been playing near 4.5 minutes in this opening term. Scores level, but numbers living up to expectation early, Sammy.
Yeah, very well said, Todd. We knew it was going to be a game of inches as Brett looks to go long to the outer side on this occasion with a long ball. Got a nice roost on in there. Forced to spoil there was Bilney. Pull the pack here. East-Point have the numbers and send it inside 50. Opportunity for maybe Brown at the front, but the kick had a bit more altitude on than he expected. Ball is the deck. Ratomo owners coming through. Handball in the Nesta direction. Baker circling for Darley. In dispute, the Devils want to hold this up and lock it inside the fence 50. That's strength by Ratomo on full display again. Cut up by Land. His kick was only a scrubby kick towards Cairns. Sends it back towards the top of the square. Cousins went without it. Dougal, hands free, but umpires picked out a free kick, which I think was there, wasn't it, Spence?
Definitely there, that one. Mace Cousins, he's a smart footballer, Mace, and he's going to have a big job on Geordie Johnston, and it's a good start for him.
Important early touch for Mace Cousins, good for the confidence, so he'll go with that sweeping left boot towards half-back.
Oh,
hot contest there, presented there was Angwin, knocked the ball to ground, foot race on in earnest here to the outer side centre wing before the ball bounced end on in over the line for a boundary throw-in. So, still got a player down there at over the other side of the ground.
Well, he met Angwin's force with a heap of it, Todd, and he's a bit ginger, that fella.
East-Point now can come through the midfield. Opportunity for Tillman, go back to his natural left side, towards the half-forward line. Maybe showed a bit too much of it. And flying from the side, Ward takes a lovely mark for the Darley Devils. And they can look to load up. wants to continue to go to the outer side. Young presents, marks centre wing, and transition handball's a good one. Opportunity for Page. He'll go inside 50 with the kick. Bilney from the side, and it's always great to see Clay Bilney back in that senior line. I've been hampered over injuries throughout the journey since making his debut back in 2016, but every time he puts on that East Point jumper, he's uber consistent. Spoils that one out of play.
Boundary throw-in, 55 metres out from the Darley goal. Tap one by Van Meel, knocked it boundary side, only as far as Page. He gathered, conceded ground by hand to Baker, who went in, ball to Lahure, quick hands, okay, but did put his man under the pump. Going forward now was Lawler, but was a poor kick. Rodder had two to beat, one in front, one behind. This was enough for him to enforce the tackle. And there'll be a ball up 45 metres out from the Darley goal. So just a point apiece here. Near 7 minutes gone opening term. Ball up. Tap. Won by Angwin. Went to Baker. Hurried kick forward to the top of the square. Collie at the back. Couldn't impact as the ball just plugged. In come the reinforcements for East Point. Taylor just one grab, picked it up and just threw it onto the boot and found safety at the boundary line. Over the line for a boundary throw-in. 50 metres around from the Darley goal. How are you seeing it, Fridge?
The settle of the side, there's a bit of a rush play, and I don't think both sides have just settled just yet, Todd.
Played 7 minutes now in the opening term. Tanner takes front position here. Knocked it down into the Lant direction. Baker circling onto that left side. Land breaks into the pocket from the impossible angle, just centres it to the top of the square. Couple East Point defenders collide and just get the big spoil out of there. Van Leaf from the side, couldn't pick this one up. Off the deck went Taylor, just gaining vital territory at this point as the foot race is on the outer side. Cadman leads the race, has Brett in support as well. Got a nice shepherd by Brett. He goes over the top in that direction, although it wasn't clean by the Devils. Just haven't settled as well as they would have liked, and a little bit nervy, but here's a chance on the outer side. Try and pick it up there, but a good tackle applied by Tillman. Ball still in a speed, hot footy on the outside. Ward, quick kick, off the deck went Page. Will go inside 50, Angwin out bodied by Bilney. And Bilney comes away with it, sends a thumping ball back where it came from. Diving back, almost the inspirational mark to Cadman, but hits the turf. Brown steps inside, found his way to Taylor, back to Brown, hot footy, as we've said. Mace cousins from the sides, jumped on by a couple, and in the end we'll get a stoppage, a true centre forward.
Pressure's enormous at the start of this one, Sammy. Darley haven't been able to have a clean inside 50 just purely based on the fact that East pressure is so high.
Some good forward pressure from the Devils nonetheless. There'll be a ball up here on half forward. Give that tap to Tanner. Through traffic, Baker bailed up. And there'll be a stoppage on true half forward here. Outer side of the ground. Low scoring affair here at City Oval. It's a point apiece. So Tanner and Van Meel, they'll be familiar with one another. They've taken on each other 3 times in the last 10 weeks. Merritt with a searching hand pass was meant for low. Big tackle taken to the ground by Van Leith. And the umpires rewarded the youngster. And Van Leith will go back and have a shot on goal. 40 metres out. Believe he's still an under-19 player. No, he's done. He's cooked. He's over age and every bit legitimate here in the open age. And Van Leith for the first deliberate set shot on goal for the Devils. Leans back on the kick as he got the distance. Rodder likes it. So does the goal umpire. And Darley get the first of the afternoon via Trey Van Leith. And the Devils, they're 1-7. They lead East Point, one behind.
Just young Lovick there, I think, trying to take on too many. And Van Leith come in with the tackle from behind and affected the holding the ball and went back and kicked a nice goal.
In the end, after 10 minutes, it was the Devils that settled first. Opening goal of the game here on 98.5 Apple FM's Match of the Round. Thanks to our good friends at Red Onion Creative for streaming it all live on Clutch TV this afternoon. The first elimination final back underway here at the City Oval. Tanner wrapped in a tackle, but a dumping tackle and a sling tackle, Todd. Saw a few on yesterday's game. Umpires been consistent throughout the elimination final series so far with that.
Gave the slow hand pass to Page, who went inside 50. Right on the target. Couldn't take to mark. Might have been held. The umpire let it go. Rebound kick gets to half back here. Baker sets himself. Good use of the body. And took a nice contested mark. And again, fired the ball out wide in the angle direction. Second grab. Couldn't take it. Grabbed by Bewley. Threw it onto the left to speak of Jack. And there's no Brett today. Tillman by hand. But they run out of time and space, East Point. That'll be Sam Q who carried it over the line for a boundary throw-in, 35 metres around from the Darley goal.
So in desperate defence mode already, East Point. We know they've conceded some goals on 2 occasions, 7-goal opening terms against them. Van Meel wins this one down. Bewley scooped that one out of there. Umpire said, though, it was a throw. Fridge saw it well. Now an opportunity here for East Point just to settle. Joey Dodd with it.
Johnson.
Comes out, yes, to Johnston with a bit of space and was always going to be collected late. Cousins did well in the end. He could have really run through him, but just made him earnest. The captain with it.
So Matty Johnson off halfback will go along the line. Chance here for McDougall. Couldn't take the mark. Ball at ground level. Shark by Cairns, who started well. Open forward line. Water the back needs to be good here. Couldn't take the mark. Second effort okay. Wheeled back onto the left boot. High up and under kick gets the Devils out of trouble momentarily. It's a fly on the football. Matty Johnson couldn't take the mark. Cairns again. Got it to Johnson, who kicked the ball into Duncan Cabin. Ricocheted off his thigh and went over the line for a boundary throw-in. 65 metres around from the East Point goal.
Better transition though by East Point. I think down the line in the air today, they got the advantage against the Devils. I think they just go back their high flyers in at all costs as we're back underway here with Van Meel winning it down to Johnston, who's just starting to work himself into the contest, but stolen there by the Devils. The quick kick forward, not paid the mark for sliding, was Q. Johnson asked the question for not making a genuine attempt, and the question was well deserved and asked. Free kick the way of the Devils through centre wing here at the City Oval. Goes inside 50, Rodder arrives late, bounces off his chest, and now Billany hits the turf. High ball out of the fence. Johnson with the fist, sends it back to where it came from. Cairns has been lively, off the Dodd, looks through the corridor, in the end can take a bounce to centre half back. Bumping kick towards the leading man, which is Walsh.
Even for the top end talent here at City Oval, tap one by Van Meel. Hurried kick out of the congestion from Nesta, got to the attacking 50. Walsh presented, didn't take the mark. The gather was clean from Canny, who got it over to Jeffries, the racehorse. Might have held onto it. He did. Shot on goal. Has he got it? Across the face through for a minor score.
They pulled it back, I think, Todd.
Yeah, for holding the ball. Yeah, just got a hand on him as he bounced the footy. So, yeah, I did think that, but Jeffries went on with it. And, well, he hasn't been penalised with 50. So Mitch Ward, who started well today, will endeavour to get the Devils out of trouble. And he'll go with the trusty right boot along the line to outer side centre wing.
Looking for the high flyers. Billany arrived late at the spoil, brought it to ground, but Devils at the fall of the ball. Try to just rush it forward by hand. Nice tackle applied there by East Point, and able to just hold it up virtually up from our broadcast position on the outer side of the ground in neutral territory here. We'll get back underway straight away with Angwin and Van Meel. Angwin wins this one. Van Meel tries to work his way through. Shoveled forward in the Jeffries direction. Try to get on the afterburners in there. Got just a little boot lace to that one. Wasn't pinned on the ball. Ward's able to rush it over the line, and we'll get a ball in now on half forward for East Point. We've played 14 and a half minutes in this one here at the City Oval.
Only goal of the game to the Devils through Van Leith. Low scoring affair here at City Oval. Opening term. Boundary throw in. Half forward for East Point. Angwin in front. Van Meel at the back. Give that one to Van Meel. Just knocked it to ground level. At the back, Jack Bewley. Underhand pass. Joel Cadman gathered. Went searching for Lawler. Got him in the end. Gave it back to Jack Bewley, who got it over to Cadman. Along the line. Went towards centre wing and a diving mark on the chest taken there by Spiteri. It's got an important role to play today, you'd think, Spiteri. Crafty small forward. Goes short. Kicks okay. And the mark's been taken by the Devils. And that right foot kick goes towards the attacking 50. Through hands. And there'll be a rebound. Out of defence with a high, long kick from Billany. Went from half back to half forward.
Well,
what a terrific contested grab taken there by Matty Brett. He'll rebound the Devils and go short to Baker.
Yes, Baker now wheels that trusted left side. Young presents, and not for the first time. He marks pretty much on centre wing here. Looks to drive him in an attack. Looking for the obvious target in Rodder! Dropped a couple as Fridge might have mentioned, but this time got the Dukes out nice and strong. And that was a wonderful mark.
Those easy ones always look easy, but that was one of the hardest ones, and he took it fantastic.
56 goals in the home and away season for Rodder. First year in black and white. Trademark, lead, strong hands. Can he finish the job and get the Devils off to the start? But Dan Jordan would have been looking for in the coach's box. Rodder from just outside the paint starts his approach now. Kick is on its way. We'll go very close to the line in the end to allowed for a little bit more distance. He's lost the accuracy. 1-2. Now the score, the Devils lead East Point 1 behind after 16.5 minutes here at the City Oval.
It'll be Cam Lovey to bring the ball back into play. He'll go out of side and go short. The kick's okay. Not out of trouble yet as Dodd took a uncontested mark in the pocket and go short. Put Lovig under the pump. Angwin was right behind him, but Lovig was able to grasp the ball. Now we'll go short again towards the defensive 50. And Q just had some separation away from Rodder. Decides to play on. Gets it back to Lovig. Right foot kick towards... Oh, it's been cut off there by Lawler. Was meant there for Kenny, but it was well read there by the youngster. Into the side today for the laid out in Brett Bewley. One of the Hendo favourites not participating today. 40 possessions and a goal a game out of the Devils lineup as Bailey Young with a high up and under kick inside 50. East Point have got the numbers. Clever thump over the back to Angwin. Kicked it to kicked into the goal square. Didn't kick through the footy at all. And Q did the rescuing and found Ma, who cleared wide towards half back and found the safety of the boundary line. And there'll be a reset on half forward out of side of the ground for Darley.
Every contest that's a high ball that goes in, there's 3 East Point defenders flying at every occasion.
And in the end, they didn't get the ball to the front of the pack. It went out the back, and maybe Angwin had his time again. The quick snap on goal was the option there. As we're back underway, neutrally one towards centre wing. Going to ground there was Van Meel from the ruck contest, and we'll get another ball in. Played now 18 minutes in this opening term. 7 points to margin. It's as tight as you can get. Van Meel and Tanner once again go to battle. Van Meel works his way to the front, but taken away by the ever-reliable Page. Runs his full measure in the end, thumps it inside 50. A lot of East Point players up again. All about the crummers on the ground. Bishop gets there first. Couldn't get it cleanly in hand. Q, well, he tried a funny-looking kick out of there. Almost missed the footy altogether, and it's gone out of bounds. We'll get a ball in just inside the paint.
Well, Bishop was in the right position, just wasn't clean enough.
And Q miscued it.
That's exactly right, Tom.
Boom, boom.
Get the brass band out. Boundary throw in. The Devils lead narrowly here at City Oval. It'll be Tanner who won that tap. Got it to ground level. Quick hands to Baker. Ball at ground level. He might get it back here, the vice-captain. But there was a whistle imminent. There'll be a ball up on half forward. About 65 metres away from the Darley goal. So just the one goal of the afternoon through Trey Van Leaf. The Devils are 1 goal 2-8. They lead East Point 1 behind. Tap, won by Van Meel, as far as Rodder Baronis, who went along the line towards centre wing. Players set themselves, and another terrific mark taken there by Matthew Brett, who started well with 3 marks this afternoon.
Yeah, I do love to see him in defence. So across there, gives them great structure. That kicks towards half forward. Johnson forced to spoil, and in the end, Cabin presented nice and strongly and marked on his chest. Comes inboard. Almost put his team under too much pressure, but the kick was good enough. An opportunity here for Lawler to send it inside 50. High footy. Once again, looking now this time, maybe Angle will get there first. Knocks it towards the boundary line, and a win for East Point as they continue to lock inside their defensive 50.
He's competed well forward of centre, Fridge, Angwin early on.
Yeah, no, he's been really good, and the Devils have been into attack more than what East Point have, and just haven't got reward for effort, Todd.
Boundary throw in. It'll be Van Meel again to contest the ruck. Got it, knocked it to his feet. Chance here for Lant. Dispossessed on the Devils attacking 50. Swooping onto the football there was Rodder Baronis. Excellent tackle from Angwin and forced the turnover. It's a hurried forward. Clean pole. Cholly running off out of defence there was Ganley. Searching hand pass meant for Building. Missed him. Went over the line for a boundary throw in. 50 metres around from the Darley goal. 20.5 minutes gone opening term. Darley 1 goal 2-8. Lead East Point 1 behind.
At least the pleasing sign here for your East Point, Jake Bridges, is the floodworks haven't opened up early. Bound to retain the score. They're trying to clear here with a quick kick through Bilney. Ball in dispute. Bishop got down low. Clever little kick towards the pocket. Merritt elects to keep this in. Comes back inside the Ganley. Although I thought by trying to elect to keep it in, he could not do so. And now another stoppage inside 50. Played 21 minutes in this opening term. 7 points the margin. All the attacking being down here to left the screen in Darley's forward 50. Opportunity now for Toolman. Steps around one whoopie tackler towards the pocket, and Merritt just got a hurry kick out of the fence this time, and we'll get another ball in from the East Point coach's box. Boys, and Quick question there for you, maybe Spence, with East Point. They've struggled to keep scores in the opening term. This be a pleasing sign in the box for Jake Bridges, you would hope.
Yeah, that on the other end though, Sammy, Dan Jordan will be pretty unhappy with the Devils' inability to score. They've had it down there pretty much, most of the quarter, as you said, and Bridges will be happy with East's ability to defend, but he'll be disappointed that they can't get it out of there.
A big ask for Joel Cadman today. Just gets up as that stoppage from that boundary throw in eventuates. Tap one by Van Meel. Baker over the footy, spooned it out towards Page. Tackle taken to the ground. Hurry kick forward here for East Point, going about 20 metres for their side, and Lahure did the defensive thing, couldn't quite find the boundary line. How will the umpire adjudicate? He calls play on in the end before there's a scrum of sorts, and the ball finds its way over the line for a boundary throw-in. True centre wing out of side of the ground.
Couldn't get any further away from us here in our broadcast position. Virtually opposite on the outer side of the ground. Centre wing, as Todd just mentioned. Game finally balanced as we get back underway. Van Meel get the point still on that one, winning it down. East Point, through a time owners, almost broke away. Just took a case of the fumble, stripped of it. Umpire said spilt in the tackle. Still working forward here was Bewley with a quick kick. Backing back though, East Point gets some numbers, and coming off half-back, they can send it from centre-half-back to true centre-half-forward. High kick, working to his front there. It was Brown, used the body well on Marks. Too far at the score. Will wheel around, bump it inside 50. As Johnson getting so much space. How did he get that much space inside forward 50 and he marks?
Yeah, it might have been a bit of ball watching there from young Mace Cousins, but when they're on the spread forward, they're pretty dangerous outfit, the Kangas, Spence.
Yeah, exactly right. And Geordie Johnson's such a crafty forward. He's a crafty player as a whole, but give him a little bit of space and he'll take it. And Cousins might have been blocked by one of Geordie's teammates there to allow him that space, but he's having a shot on goal as a result of that.
It was a terrifically weighted kick.
Yeah, Jacob Brown, good kick.
JJ comes in for the first time today. That was always near side the way he started. A minor score on his first attempt. It's now East Point 2 behinds, trailing Darley 1-2 here. 8 at the City Oval. We'll play 23.5 minutes here on 98.5 Apple FM's Game of the Round. Here streaming live on Clutch TV, thanks to our good friends at Red Onion Creative.
The winner of this afternoon's game to meet Ballarat next week. Of course, Melton and Sebastopol to contest the second semi-final. So plenty at stake. And then there were 5, and come 5 p.m. this afternoon, there'll be 4 as Leonard brings the ball back into play, goes towards half-back. It's a nice strong mark taken there by the Devils, and it's Duncan Cadman who started well. Goes short. Goes searching there towards Bailey Young, who marks just inside the boundary line. In time on in this opening term, low-scoring affair, high up and under kick, penetrating one at that. Got it to half-forward, Johnson at the back. Got plenty of it, couldn't hang on to it in the end. Fired out the hair pass there was Joel Barr, but came off hands and then travelled over the line for a boundary throw-in, adjacent to the East Point commentary, the East Point coach's box. Half-forward, outer side of the ground, boundary throw-in to take place.
Can the Devils get some bang for their buck in this opening term? One down by Van Meel. Bewley at the back with the hand pass, and Baker will come now towards centre half forward with the kick. Backing back though, Bilney. He's been super in defence.
Very good.
Takes a nice strong mark. An A-grader when fit, showing it here in finals footy. Sends a long ball now towards the outer side, looking for the target. Johnston, the natural flyer, couldn't bring it down. Knocked towards the boundary line, and the umpire, let's go say, we'll bring it in on true centre wing on the other side.
Good defence from Matthew Brett again to affect the spoil on Matty Johnson.
He's been very good, Matty Brett, to start the game, and Bailey Young's been really good on Matty Johnson as well, just slightly.
Boundary throw-in, ball at ground level. Bit of a stacks on the mill. Joel Cabin, one of those balls spews out to Jack Bewley. Dispossessed by Matty Johnson. The umpire called play on. Kick, tumbly kick inside 50. Clean bowled Cousins and Johnson. Foot race on in earnest here. Running on to the football was, there's Darren Leonard there. There's a handful of players there. Bit of a stacks on the mill. Matthew Brett, one of those. Joe Dodd, Mitch Walsh and Jack Jeffries. And the umpire will do the right thing and call a reset. And there'll be a ball up 25 metres out from the East Point goal.
Could be a real confidence boost here for East Point. They can level the scores deep into the time on now in the opening term. Walsh in the ruck gets his hands on this. Flying kick coming out of there was held by Ward, who had no nonsense, trying to bust his way through to the tackle, but is locked up 30 from goal. Still a chance, though, for East Point to reach their first major. Very dangerous in these situations The likes of Dodd maybe coming through. Big tackle by Lant, and he slipped over the shoulder. The umpire says no, and in the end, another ball up is the result.
Umpires have started well. They were good yesterday also. And a low-scoring affair similar to yesterday. There's the tap, won by Tanner. Goes boundary side. Finds it in the end over the line. Boundary throw-in. 20 metres at max away from the East Point goals. We near the 27-minute mark of this opening term. Darley 8, lead East Point 2. So just 6 points in it. East Point with an opportunity late to score. There's the throw-in. Ball spills out the back. They've got numbers here through McDougall. His kick was smothered in the end. Good pressure from Young. Gathered by Taylor. Went back to McDougall. Hurried shot to the top of the goal square. Brett dropped what he should have taken. Went to ground. Mitch Ward knocked it through for a rush behind. So good safe defensive work there from the Devils as they combine to get it through for a rushed point.
Mitch Ward's been super for the Devils in the first quarter, Toddy. He's probably found his feet the most out of any of the Devils players, along with Matty Brett and Bailey Young. So he's been super, Mitch Ward.
Well said, Spence, as Brett will go towards the outside. Once again, his option, angling the target in the middle of a few East Point players. They were able to fly there, near one of those getting a fingertip, and over the line it goes. Attacking side of centre wing for the Kangas, who now only trail by 5 points here at the City Oval, with an opportunity here maybe to take a surprising quarter-time lead.
Near 28 minutes gone. Boundary throw in. Tap won by Van Meel again. Young starting to rack up a few possessions of his own, as Spence mentioned earlier. Again, a bit of a stacks on the mill stalemate of sorts right in front of the Darley coaches box. And sitting on top of that coaches box, laconically, is Devils coach Dan Jordan, if you don't mind. Ball up. Van Meel with the tap. As far as Land tries to break the would-be tackler, forced to throw it on the boot. Cadman commits. Chance here for Spiteri now at ground level for the Devils before the umpire says, I'll have it. There'll be a ball up on outer side centre wing.
Hope he's got the 50 plus on, Todd. He's got no hat on. He's getting those UV rays.
There's the tap, one by Tanner. Got it to ground. Through traffic was Cairns. Got it to Merritt. Left foot kick towards the attacking 50. Matthew Brett again, strong overhead. Didn't hang on to it long enough, said the umpire.
Got plenty of frontal contact. Should have been paid the mark, Todd.
Yeah, well, it's a free kick going to East Point here. Shank kick inside 50. Nearly fortuitous there, but the siren sounds just as McDougall was going to throw one onto the boot. And that'll be it for quarter time here at City Oval in a low-scoring affair. Almost identical to the score that we saw in the opening term yesterday between Sebastopol and North Ballarat. But today, here in elimination final one, it's Darley 1 goal 2-8, who lead East Point 3 behinds. Fridge, you've got the goal scorer.
Only the one, Trey Van Lee. Toddy?
How'd you see it, Spence?
Yeah, I mean, the pressure was enormous, as we said multiple times throughout the first quarter, Toddy. And, the Devils probably just settled a little bit earlier than East, and their pressure and their leadership down back, through Matty Brett was just, I guess it caused East to have 4 kicks inside 50, and then as a result of that, they weren't able to get a goal on the scoreboard. So a good start by the Devils, but Jake Bridges will be happy that it was only just that one goal, because I think they're going to have a much better quarter. It'll give them a good rev up at quarter time.
Finals footy, Todd. No free-flowing stuff. It's just an arm wrestle at this point of time. This first quarter's just been an absolute arm wrestle, and Jordan be happy with the pressure around the contest. Probably the amount of times that they've gone forward, Darley, they haven't been able to get that reward. A couple of marks to Rodder that he dropped that he should have taken, would have, within 20-25 metres, probably would have capitalised on them. Bridges, his defenders have been excellent. Probably looking a bit more from his mids. They've been a little bit quiet. The blokes of Darley have done a pretty good job on them blokes at the moment. And Darley probably not allowing East to play that fast, free-flowing footy. Like, as you witnessed when Johnson took that mark, it was a long kick from the half-back just to open up the play. None of this buggerising around with handballs and that. But, even contest, and it'll be the side that takes the opportunity when they get that opportunity to grab a hold of the game.
Elimination final quarter time here at City Oval. Darley 1 goal 2-8. They lead East Point 3 behinds. We'll take a break. Back with the second quarter action in around 5 minutes' time.
Rustel Proprietary Limited. Phone 0419 568 635. Stop for quality and service for your side cut. Phone the top man Graham Gillespie at Rustel for prompt and expert service. Proud sponsor Apple 98.5 FM.
Stockdale and Lego means real estate because your success is our business. Take a look at our station sponsor website www.stockdaleandlego.com/Bacchusmarsh and like our Facebook page to keep up to date with new listings, open for inspections and rental availabilities. Stockdale and Lego, we are here for you. Proud sponsor of Apple 98.5 FM.
I want you to inspire me, and I want to inspire you this football season with our high quality locally grown meat. Hop online or give us a call on 5368 117 or come in store and we will deliver to you free of charge this football season. Proud sponsors of this station, the Land Local Butcher.
HFT Water Solutions, where your waste is our solution. Proud sponsor of BFL Game Day.
Apple 98.5 FM, connecting you to your community.
Jeff Jones Plants and Produce for all your fresh fruit and veggies. All summer produce available. Stone fruit, mangoes, apricots, nectarines, plums and of course their magnificent strawberries and cherries. All year round they have seedlings, potting mix and manure. Come and meet their friendly staff and savour the fresh fruit and vegetables. Jeff Jones Plants and Produce, 388 The Avenue of Honour in Bacchus Marsh, a proud sponsor of Apple 98.5 FM.
Tech Global, having problems with your computer or technical equipment? Your first call for help is to Marcel at Tech Global, 0439 300 966. Email marcel at techglobal.com.au. Proud sponsor, Apple 98.5 FM.
Hello, it's Chris from the Salvos. Join us every Sunday morning at 8 for Light and Life, where we look at issues that face each of us in our daily lives. We hear encouraging stories from people who've found freedom from destructive behaviour, and we have special guests who are experts in their field to help us find freedom from whatever's holding us back in our life. Freedom from addictions, freedom from poor self-esteem, freedom to make us the people we really want to be. Light and Life, every Sunday morning at 8, right here on 98.5 Apple FM.
Hey all, it's Sticks, throwing out a call to all you members of the Metal Militia out there to come and join me in raising some hell with the new Metal for the Masses heavy metal show. A solid 2 hours of hardcore insanity to bang those heads and raise those devil horns. Every Thursday night from 8 till 10 p.m. right here on Apple 98.5 FM.
Ferguson Player Bakehouse, 151A Main Street, for all your hot and cold pastries, sweets, teas and coffees, cold drinks and specialty cakes for all occasions, made to order or choose from their range on display. Under current conditions, dine-in COVID-safe rules apply and masks must be worn in the store. Phone 5367 7077 to place an order or book a table. Ferguson Player is a proud sponsor of Apple 98.5 FM.
Welcome back to City Oval. It's quarter time here. Darley with a slender advantage. Not much to speak of on the goal front. They're just 1 goal, 2-8. They lead East-Point, 3 behinds. Sammy Young, Spence Jenks and Fridge Freeman joining us on the broadcast this afternoon. Of course, the audio via Apple 98.5 FM and the pictures brought to you by Red Onion and the Clutch TV app. Sammy, probably 60-40 played in the Devils' front half in that opening term. How'd you say it?
Yeah, I think a bit of credit to Jake Bridges, man, particularly Clay Billington was sort of playing that goalkeeper role at times for East-Point, because we know against North Ballarat this year they gave up 7 goals in a quarter. They did against Sebastopol earlier in the season as well, and of course, only go back to their last game, they gave up 14 goals in one term to Melton, so the floodgates didn't open, even though all the pressure and all the delivery was going inside forward 50. So that's a pleasing turnaround in a couple of weeks' time, but now it's about to get back to, what brought them to the dance and what, they say transition football, and it's opening up sides on the other end. So I want to see if they can maybe be a bit more creative with their ball movement through the centre of the ground.
Of course, no Brett Bewley today, Fridge, for the Devils. They seem to be holding up okay for the moment.
Yeah, I think they're on top of the mids of East Point at this particular point of time, Todd, and Bridges would be wanting to get a bit more out of Johnson and Mika out of that middle.
How's the Geordie Johnson Mace Cousins match-up going, Spence?
Yeah, we saw Geordie Johnson get on the end of an uncontested mark just inside forward 50 in the pocket there at one stage. But, I mean, the pressure from the Devils going inside 50 for East has been really high, so it's hard for Geordie to, I suppose, get off the leash. And Cousins is doing a fantastic job so far, and he's got an arm across at all occasions, other than that one mark that Geordie took in the pocket. So, yeah, it's a good match-up. And the other one with Bailey Young and Matty Johnson, I think Bailey Young's right on top there. And, Bridges will want his skipper to stand up in the second quarter here.
Yeah, looking forward to a few more goals in this second quarter, Sammy, to open the game up.
Yeah, it's tail-tape to the second elimination final that we saw yesterday between Sebastian North. It was a real arm wrestler early, and then after half-time, both sides were done with feeling each other out and really could hit the scoreboard. But like at the Eastern Oval, here at the City Oval, it's a healthy crowd. It's a beautiful day for footy, and hopefully we'll get a perfect start in the second term to get things going.
Well, I couldn't get a goal out of the opening bound, so you can take it away in this second quarter, Sammy.
We're back underway here to start the second term. Young coming through. Couldn't quite gather. Goes the second time, there's Bailey Young. Quick kick will go towards half forward. Opportunity here for Cameron to get boots the ball. Tough footy to be won. Big tackle applied there by East-Point and by Taylor to lock things up at centre back. And 15 seconds gone in the second term, and just neutrally moved forward by the Devils to true centre half forward.
There's the ball up. Tap won by Van Meel. Going about 10 metres to his side. Cairns went the soccer, going about 20. Gets beyond the middle of the ground. Walsh's tackle taken to the ground by Lennon. Good defensive pressure, but they're out here. Chance here for McDougall. Gave it to the running Nesta. He's on his non-preferred, but elected to go with the right boot. Went out in the direction of Johnson. Cousins did well. Had boundary line on his side. Found it. And there'll be a boundary throw in 20 metres around from the East-Point goal.
Just kept harassing there, Cousins. Just that body contact has just worried him out of that contest. Johnson.
McDougall just starting to throw his weight around a little bit. There's the link-up player. He's going to take the ruck here on this occasion inside 50. Wouldn't mind seeing him take it out of the air, even potentially against Tanner. Just knocked it down, but only as far as Baker. Cairns, quick kick will go across the face of goal. Johnson and Cousins, that matchup as we keep highlighting, goes to ground, and we're about 25 metres out from goal, and a stoppage for East-Point to work at to take the lead if they can find one between the big sticks.
Actually, Cairns has done a good job. I think he's running with Lant, and Lant hasn't had much of an impact on this game at this point of time, Todd.
Ball up, deep inside 50. McDougall did the ruck work, tapped it to himself, and then just had a kick across the body, going about 10 metres. Speak of the devil, Lant gathers, clearing kick to an open defensive 50. How will it sit for the big fella in Tanner? Well, he got leg breaks. Ball gets hurried forward, bouncing ball, call it a chaos one at that. Matthew Brett gathers, tackled, bailed up, and the umpire says, I'll have it, and there'll be a ball up.
Still 2 minutes gone now in this second term. 5 points, still the quarter-time margin remaining. But East-Point want to have something to say about it as we're back underway. McDougall doing the ruck work, wins it down. Bewley at the back, brought to ground there by Johnston, and another stoppage. This very contested football-style game at the minute. True finals action, hot footy, arm wrestle. Only inches in it. We knew it was going to be an even contest, and it's delivering this afternoon at the City Oval. Back underway, Leonard this time. I'll give the points to. Quick kick by Canny straight up in the air. Bewley is going to be paid the mark. Yes, the umpire says it did go to require 15. Went that as high. And Bewley will have it in the fullback position.
We're strong under the contest. Jack Bewley, so he goes to the outer side of the ground. Found Joel Cadman on a lead, who came up, presented, took a mark on the defensive 50. So Joel Cadman with ball in hand. We'll weigh up the options and go along the line towards outer side centre wing. Chance here for Tanner. Doing the sharking there was Bailey Young before he was dispossessed, and the ball went over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Virtually opposite from our broadcast position now on true centre wing on the outer side. We get action back underway here. The first elimination final between the Darley Devils and East-Point. Tanner wins this one down. On hands and knees, Merritt shoved it in the hand pass. More in hope than anything. Devils get around it as Baker sends it to half forward. In front, dropping the mark there was Cadman. Still might open up there for Angwin. He couldn't quite get it off the deck. Went Bilney straight to the boundary line. Umpire says throw it in. I think if it was in some high levels of footy, that would have been deemed insufficient attempt to keep the ball in play. But this competition, they have to say, let's throw it in between half forward and centre wing on the other side.
That's only when the umpires want attention, Sammy.
Boundary throw in. Van Meel at the back. Tanner in front. Tanner collapsed in front. He might get the free kick here, the pencil. He will. So he'll have an opportunity on half forward. He plays on. Right foot kick inside 50. Players set themselves. Materi in front. Couldn't take the mark. Loose ball opportunity here. Ball at ground level. Just thrown out of the contest there was Materi. For the umpire will come in and effect a ball up. Some 35 metres out from the Darley goal.
All matchups have stayed the same as they were in the first quarter, Toddy.
Right, going to do some ruck work on this occasion. Wins it down. East Point might get the clearance though. Marr with it now. Tries to shove in a hand pass, and the quick kick from Johnston will clear defensive 50. Ward backing back. Elected to let it hit the ground, then just slap it forward to where he had heard the voice of Young. Probably had a bit too much on it as Johnston comes from the side. Was caught and gone. Good tackle.
Fantastic, Bailey Young.
And 50.
And this will bring him to scoring range. Quick kick after it.
And he'll be kicking towards the Darley under-19 boys sitting on the utes behind the goals there, so they'll get around him if he kicks this one, Bailey Young.
We've said he's been terrific, winning the head-to-head matchup against Matty Johnston. And watch the reaction from the Devils players if he can split the middle here and extend Darley's lead here at the City Oval. Young to line up from 35 on about a 45-degree angle, if you don't mind. Start his approach. I think the crowd will do the work for me here at the 5.5 minute mark of the second term. Kick is on its way.
Yes.
And the crowd does the work nicely. It's through the big sticks. And the second goal of the first elimination final has come at the 5.5 minute mark of the second term through Bailey Young. It is 2 goals, 2-14. Darley leading East Point 3 behind.
Well, reward for effort, chased, tackle, harassed Johnson and won the free kick and then got the 50-metre penalty and amazing what a VFL pre-season can do for a player.
Not an easy man to tackle, Johnson, so just a show of strength there from Bailey Young. So he gets his first, Darley get their second. 2-2-14, Darley, lead East Point 3 points. Ball up, Mad Monday for the losers, a progression, a meeting with Ballarat for the winner. Rodimer Onus juggling the ball forward, couldn't gather. Ball spills out, Johnson caught one in the back, but the umpire let it go. Ganley by hand, got it to Tillman. Quick hands, release kick got beyond the attacking centre wing position for East Point. Keep knocking it forward, chance here for Johnson. Chips it over the top. Jacob Brown will take an uncontested mark. And he'll go back and have a shot on goal from 35 metres out. Had McDougall in the square, but would needed to have pushed back and taken a risk to find him in the end, Sammy.
Yeah, it was a big 50-50 ball by Johnston as well. I mean, it was one of those ones, if he hadn't won that contest, Darley would have got the ball off half-back and transitioned through the middle. So, backed himself in and Brown slipped out the back and, I was lining up for his first goal and East Point's first goal today.
So, Jacob Brown, distance won't be a problem. 35 metres out from goal at best and a chance to get East Point's first goal of the afternoon. The best part of 7 minutes gone in this second term. It's off to the right, so far, in fact, it's missed everything out of bounds on the full. Spence said he'd see the opening couple of minutes.
Yeah, well, Jacob Brown will be disappointed with that. He's such a quality talent for East Point, so to let that one go out of bounds on the full is a disappointing result. But, Darley probably started the quarter better again, it has to be said, Toddy, and they'll be looking to transition again through Matty Brett from the back pocket.
Yeah, long ball out to the outer side. From the side there was Van Meel, brought it to ground and safety first. They can reassess here on the attacking side centre wing, East Point, but with a whole opening term with no goals, missed opportunities, and this one now starting to just ask some questions about the East Point forward line at the minute. Back underway. Tanner wins it down. Page wheels that trusty ride. Off the inset, the kick wasn't perfect. An ugly one and a chaos ball to deal with for Gangley. Good enough, but left the ball behind. Could open the door for Darley to go the other way. Ball in dispute, quick kick there by East Point. Will go towards half forward. Bewley spoiled there to the side by Rotoma Onus. Take that as a win. Out position was the forward on that occasion. They can reassess at half forward, 55 from goal.
Yeah, did well to square that contest away there. Lahoure, boundary throw to take place, 55 metres out from the East Point goal. Missed both ruckmen in the end. They had to work to the right. Close up against the boundary line. Dodd by hand, kick across the body from Cairns to a swarm of players around the footy. And Page will tumble the ball onto the boot, get it beyond centre wing outer side of the ground. Tell you what, 90% of the game's been played on that outer side this afternoon.
They are avoiding us here on the broadcast side, Toddy, that's for sure.
Darley 2 goals, 2-14, lead East Point 3 behinds. We've been playing near 9 minutes second term.
Very jobs from our broadcast position, as we said. Long ball back in now. Tanner wins it down again. Dodd at the forefront, trying to just shovel it forward more than anything, but just gains a metre or so for the Kangas, who need to start working their way into the contest. Just want to see them be a little bit more dynamic, get their running game going from half back to full forward. Again, now back on true centre wing just about. Van Meel with the points on this occasion wins down. Lant went without it. Quick kick there by the Kangas and Merritt. Walsh in front. Got some separation from Brett and Marks on this occasion. Too far out the score. 55 from goal. Just loads up a long ball to the goal face. One-on-one contest for Brown.
Yeah. Protected the space. Completed the mark. Yeah. Good use of the body there, Todd.
Yeah, very handy player overhead. Good footy smarts. And Jacob Brown with an opportunity to atone for that previous miss. Probably 10 or so metres closer than his previous attempt. That ended up out of bounds on the full. And fair dinkum, he'd have to fall over not to score from here, Sammy.
So Brown taking his time to start his approach. Kicked 10 goals this season. So knows where the big sticks are. And makes amends this time. East Point get their first goal of the first elimination final. 10.5-minute mark of the second term. Jacob Brown pops it through. It's Darley 2-2-14 Lynn. East Point now 1 goal 3-9. Oh, now match of the round here thanks to 98.5 Apple FM. Streaming live thanks to Red Onion Creative on Clutch TV.
I was about to say that young Tanner was giving the Devils plenty of use out of the ruck. He was giving them first option, and then Van Meel's ruck work in that contest there was terrific. It was a good tap and allowed that fella to kick that ball deep inside, and Jacob Brown taking that mark.
Goals at a premium so far this afternoon. 2 goals v1, low scoring affair. Chance for Dodd. Quick hands, got it to Mar. Another forward 50 entry opportunity here for East Point. Brown got a terrible bounce. Cairns trying to knock it over his head. Devils, can they clear through Ward? Evasive. Back onto the left. Lowered the kick. Terrific. Found Page. Really straightened the Devils up there with that kick out of defence, did Ward. So a high up and under kick from Page. Can he keep it in? Off hands over the line. And out of bounds on the full. Couldn't do so. And the rebound kick to be taken by the Kangas to send them back into their forward half.
Rare mistake by Shane Page. Normally so assured by foot. Former captain.
That's 3 in a row that he's done that have been errant kicks.
East Point go to half forward. Brown again used his body to see out the back. Foot races on between him and Ward. Ward has the safety of the boundary line, his friend, and plays it nicely and professionally and just knocks it over the line. We'll get a ball in about 35-40 metres from goal. But East Point just starting to get to the press, and in a low-scoring affair, are only moments away if they can get one between the sticks to taking the lead here at the City Oval against the run of play.
East Point in attack, boundary throw in. Jacob Brown with the last goal of the game. Leonard with the big thump, high up and under, got it outside the defensive 50 for the Devils. Over the football nest, it couldn't gather. Joe Dodd, one of those. Failed up by Page and the umpire, Bewley. And the umpire says, I'll have it. There'll be a ball up, 51 metres out from the East Point goal. So 90% of play played on the outer side of the ground here this afternoon. 2 goals v1, the Devils lead. Snapped out of the congestion there by Marr, high up and under kick. Doesn't travel the required distance. Van Meel gathered and kicked across the body, and Jeffries has taken a mark in front of Lawler and will have an opportunity to put the Kangas in front.
Yeah, the mullet's got the footy, and that chaos ball that if your forwards are in front, 9 times out of 10, those chaos balls, if you're in front, you'll get it.
Become a handy goal kicker for East Point. 15 goals in 12 games after starting his senior footy career in defence. Transition forward against the Devils back in about round 7 or 8 when they met. Hasn't looked back since. And now can put the Kangas in front. It's across the face, and lucky in the end to scrape through for a minor score. East Point wayward kicking early. 1 goal 4-10. Now it trails Darley 2-2-14 here at the City Oval.
A couple of let-offs for the Devils early as the ball comes back into play. Mace Cousins takes an uncontested mark from that kick back into play. So he gets onto that left boot. Tumbling awkward kick. Made it hard for Ward, but he needed every bit of his cricketing skills to take that mark.
Doesn't play like a player that's only played a handful of games, this fella.
So Mitch Ward tips it over the top, put Joel Cadman under the pump. Pressure was good from Geordie Johnson, nearly been to hell without it at the end, and the umpire called play on. Ness had a weight of options, gave it a dot on the preferred left. In fact, went deep into attack, missed everything across the face and bounced over the line for a boundary throw-in, 15 metres around from the East Point goal.
Again, a 50-50 opportunity there for the Kangas. And Dodd, uber consistent this year, 10 times in the best players for East Point.
No vision.
In 14 games, just didn't make the right choice. As off the footy, Darley playing, Catman's gone to the ground and it is on in the centre of the City Oval. Catman's still down. Rodder didn't like it, he came in and now they come from everywhere. It'll be a free kick to the Devils, you'd imagine, in the middle of the ground.
Yeah, I saw that one happen, Sammy. I think it might have been Walsh that come up and just pretty much flattened Joel Cadman, or is it Joel out there with a bump?
It is Joel.
That was as simple as it was, a pretty heavy bump, but the Darley boys aren't happy, and Nick Rodder probably led from the front there and showed that you can't mess around with the Devils boys. They've got each other's back, and they're showing that today, and Joel Cadman's a bit sore, but hopefully he's all right.
A real momentum breaker too in this one, as East Point had a chance only moments ago to take the lead, and ball was inside 50 for them. They've done something silly and could cost them. These little moments in finals are massive. And I don't
think yellow card coming. I'll look at it.
Can only predict that will be the outcome.
There it is.
And there it is. Well picked up, Spence.
Well, it's a long way to run to Decker, bloke. It's actually Dallas Martin by the looks.
Yep.
So he might have been given the yellow card post that bump, unless you're sure it was Mitch Walsh.
I think you're right. I think it was Dallas Martin. He sort of come from centre half back and he ran back after the incident, so it was Dallas Martin. I couldn't quite see there, but spot on with Dallas Martin.
Well, it was Rodder's man, so he's seen the full view of it.
Yep.
And now the Devils come towards the broadcast side, which has been a nice change. Marked taken there by Lawler. Of course, the late inclusion for their captain and Bewley. Wants to go sideways this time, and happy to possess at this point. Cadman with it. That, of course, of the Duncan variety. Goes all the way back, and the veteran Leonard with it. Comes across the centre wing on the outer side, so Devils just possess. Young, spearing ball towards Bewley. Just had a bit too much on it. Ratomo slips in, and then gets a 1-2 and with merit and can load up from half back, but the kick is wayward and goes out in the full. So missed opportunity to get out of the fence there, East Point. Darley well to send it back here for Young, won't they, Todd?
Yeah, been good, Young, been important in the absence of Brett Bewley. He's had an excellent second half of the season with the Devils, so he goes towards half forward, high up and under kick, angle on the target, might have infringed, the umpire let it go. No, he didn't. The other adjudicating umpire spotted the infringement against Angwin. Be a free kick to the Kangas, who goes short, and the kick's okay to Van Meel, who marks just in front of Ward on half-back. True set half-back, goes to the outer side of the ground. Poor kicks cut off by Johnson. They can get the ball rolling here quickly here, the Devils. He goes short, kicks okay. Got it to Page, who's had plenty of it. Right foot kick inside 50. Rodder couldn't take to mark. Who's got the crumb? Spiteri! Goal!
Well called, Toddy, and again, it's just that big presence of Rodder making a contest, and the little Fleetwood players down in the right place, right time, and Lee Spiteri, we know he's a goal kicker, especially in the big games, and popped up there at the right time.
So he's still, with Dallas Martin getting sent off, that's 15 minutes for a yellow card. So Darley will be looking to capitalise, and they've done so probably 2 minutes after the incident with a goal, and it happened at about the 15-minute mark. So if it's anything like the last quarter, he'll probably sit out the rest of the quarter and the first couple of minutes of the third, and Darley will look to capitalise with 18-17 for that time.
And guess who was in that contest from down back was Mitch Ward. In that contest. Fantastic gut running, Todd.
Back underway here at the City Oval. East Point trying to go through Ratomo onus, but Baker comes away with it. Goes that trusty left side off to the man we speak of in Ward. Runs his full measure, and maybe some, and I was about to say, and some. As giving away the free kick, East Point will be able to now get the turnover. Go in. Well, umpire just wants to make sure everything's perfect. We'll bring the ball back as Van Meel was coming through the middle.
Well, can you get him to fix the scoreboard, Sammy?
No, well, that
Great call, Todd.
Back underway here. Long ball from Merritt will go just inside 50. Johnson will fly, but Cousins, for his own accord, did pretty well in the air. Almost brought it down. Ball in dispute. Matt Johnson locks things up, and that's the 18.5-minute mark. Darley lead, 3 goals to 20. East Point, the 1 goal for 10 here at the City Oval.
Lee Spiteri, Bailey Young, Trey Van Leith, the goal scorers for Darley. Jacob Brown with the sole goal for the Kangas. But they have an opportunity here. They're deep into attack, ball at ground level. Dispute, Johnson forces the tackle. And there'll be a ball up, some 40 metres out from the East Point goal.
They just can't get any clean ball at the moment, East Point. They're just, everything they do is under pressure.
Get back underway here. Inside 50 for the Kangas, and Johnson was going nowhere, being well watched, as we've mentioned on a couple of occasions, by Young, who's arguably the pick of the players on the ground at the minute. We go again. Angwin to the front, wins it down. Devils are locked up there by Dodd, going nowhere. And another stoppage inside 50 for East Point. We're just about to ticket the time on in this second term. It's a 10-point margin in the first elimination final at the City Oval.
Ball up, opportunity here for East Point. Again, they're in attack. Ball gets knocked forward to the defensive 50. Page has got 2 to beat numbers for Val. Nesta might have caught one high. The umpire disagreed. And he's pinged him for holding the ball, so a little lucky there, the Devils. But at least from here anyway. And it'll be Baker with ball in hand. The left footer will go to the outer side of the ground to Cadman. Speaking of Duncan, Joel off the ground after being decked about 5 minutes ago by Dallas Martin, who's having a spell of his own off the ground. So penetrating long kick from Duncan Cadman to half forward, right on the target. Johnson goes to spoil at the back. At ground level, East Point have got numbers, but there's Bailey Young again. Got it to Baker, to Collie. Gave it back towards, it might have been Spiteri there who hurried the kick forward. Stretch, mark, taken. Ball goes to ground, umpire called play on. Hurried kick goes across the face. Chance here for Ward. Got a terrible bounce. Had to wait under it forever. Canny gathered. Quick hands. Bilney threw the ball onto the boot in the middle of the ground. Duncan Cadman with a goal-saving second attempt took the mark.
And he'll chip it over top quickly. We has options. Mark taken there by Luther Baker. Centre of the City Oval. Wheels around, sends it inside 50. We had loose players. One of them was Johnson. Went with the one hand, couldn't bring it down. Ball in dispute. Bishop will send it to the top of the square. Coley's the option. And Coley's got a good set of hands. He shows them on full display. And he'll line up to give Darley, well, a couple in a row here to stretch the lead out once again at the City Oval.
Well, he's played a bit of his football forward since returning from that layoff with a lengthy ankle injury, Spence. And while he was a bit nervous playing forward, his first couple of attempts, a couple of goals against North Ballarat. And at round 18 has held him in good stead. He should make no mistake from here. Sneaks it in, and Collie gets his first, and Darley get their fourth of the afternoon. They're 4-2-26. They lead East Point 1-4-10.
Yep, they're really punishing East with just the 17 players on the ground now, the Darley Devils, and a really good contested mark there actually by Blake Collie to come across the pack and take that in, or probably 3 or 4 up in the air there, so a really quality mark, and ended up going back and kicking the goal from about 15 to 20 out directly in front and straight over the Darley supporters behind the goal over their heads, and they're up and about, and so are the Devils.
We're back underway here, 22.5 minutes gone in the second term. Neither ruckman touch it. Johnson going nowhere. Is getting wrapped up immediately by Young. Although slipped out at the shoulder. Dodd will come away with it. Send it inside 50. Back is Brett. Couldn't complete the mark inside for 50. Johnston came in hard, and the umpire on the spot says got him a bit high. Free kick will go the way of the Devils at the full-back position.
Matty Brett been important. Soldiering the defence with the experienced Darren Leonard high kick. Put Lahure under the pump. Couldn't take the mark. Good evasive skills by Mitch Ward again. Hand pass, got it to Azapati. The old 1-2, got it back to Ward. Penetrating kick in the right direction. Come out, took a nice overhead mark. How about the kick and execution from Mitch Ward? Terrific. Rodder wheeled and go onto the right boot to the attacking 50. Lovick the set, couldn't take the mark. Tanner was in front. Who's at ground level? Bishop's one of those. Forces the hand pass out into the Johnson direction. Hand pass. Back to Cadman. Right foot kick across. Was poor in the end. And Jeffries cut it off. Hit the ground running and went long to half forward. But Cousins will cut it off. And the Devils will get out of trouble once again.
Yeah, poor option by Jeffries as Cousins cuts it off and comes and finds Young here on the broadcast side. Marks on true centre wing and can chip it over the top where Coley, the last goal kicker, is in some space. He marks and can send the Devils into attack again. Called the play on. Assesses his options and just unloads a bomb that will fall just inside 50. No one touches it, surprisingly. Potomac picks it up, broke one tackle, pounded it on the boot, and they'll say throw it in between half-forward centre wing here on the broadcast side.
Got away with that one, Mika, Toddy.
Indeed, yes. If Jamie Quick was here, he probably would have picked up a chip and thrown it at the umpire like he did yesterday. Boundary throw in, half forward. Members side of the ground, tap one by well, we'll give it Tanner. Van Leith over the football, couldn't gather, knocked off. Chance here through traffic. Nesta got it to Dodd. Hurried kick only as far as Page cut off. Got ball to boot, dumped by Taylor. Ball ended up on the attacking 50. Need to be clean here, East Point. Dodd goes to ground. Baker executed the tackle terrifically to square away the stoppage. And now the umpire's picked out a free kick for over the shoulder.
He was a bit late on that one. I thought the first contact was high, but obviously after Baker had come in and made high contact with Joe Dodd there, so he gets the free kick as a result.
And he just measures the pass here to Potomac Onus, who just needs to start to build and impose himself. Big game player, of course, best on ground in the 2018 grand final. High ball now will fall short of centre wing and really short of any East Point forward. Cadman able to mark on his chest, comes inboard, finds as a party, who's got men streaming on the outer side. Nice kick, finds Johnson. Measures one inside 50, looking for Rodder, just too tall for him. Spills at the back. No crumbers at the forefront there for Darley. Nesta around one. Whoopie tackle, but took on the world, did Aiden. Left it behind. Advantage taken, and Coley misses to the near side.
Point blank, he'd be disappointed with that one, Blake Coley. 2 in a row for him would have got him right up and about as well as the Devils, but he's missed it.
Lovick will bring the ball back into play. Let off for the Kangas just ahead of half-time. Penetrating kick. Got to the fist of Lahura, who knocked it to the safety of the boundary line. And to be a throw-in. East Point not quite out of trouble yet, despite it being on the half-back line out of sight of the ground. Darley, 4 goals, 3, 27. Lead East Point, 1-4-10.
Just the attacking side, centre wing on that outer side. 26 minutes have been played. And we'll get a ball in now. But the Devils continue their work. Fisted forward by the Kangas. Getting across there's Lahara, just shoveled a handpass in the space more than anything. East Point with some numbers there through Dodd. Taylor. Toolman boots the ball. Good tackle again. Good ferocity at the contest by Darley. And Page with a sweeping hand pass finds Cadman. He'll stream to 50. Line up the goal face. Coming back slightly, but always offline from there. And a minus score.
Couple of missed opportunities in the last minute or so for the Devils, but they're really taking over the game here at the moment.
Darley 4-4-28, East Point 1-4-10. 18-point lead to the Devils ahead of half-time here at City Oval. And it'll be Cairns will go along the line. Penetrating kick to the outer side centre wing position. Off hands over the line. There'll be a boundary throw in. True centre wing outer side of the ground. It's Darley with a let off for East Point in the last couple of minutes. They lead by, well, it's 4-4-28 to 1-4-10. 18-point advantage to the Devils.
Get back underway here. Again on the farthest point of the ground from our broadcast position, and it's just usually knocked back to where it came from. Obviously all the boys here in the box forgot to shower overnight or in this morning. No one, the players out there don't want a bar of us this afternoon.
Obviously didn't get the brief.
Nah. Missed the morning meeting, but back underway here. Tanner wins it down. Darley couldn't come away with it as Dodd pinched it, sends it into a vacant area. Jeffries brought to ground a tackle and going nowhere. Umpire says we'll reward it with a stoppage. Defensive side of the centre of the ground.
Starting to do some accumulating of his own, Joe Dodd, off that left boot. Ball in the middle of the ground here. Tanner won that tap, ball at ground level. Opportunity here for Cairns, who fired the hand pass out. Went looking there towards Johnson, who tunnelled the ball forward. Running onto it now was McDougall. Chip across the face of goal. albeit 40 metres away. Chance here for Jeffrey if it sits okay for him. Just threw it onto the boot. Fell into the hands of Geordie Johnson. High up and under kick. They'll pay the mark. Devils in from everywhere. Too many up, no one down. Will it sit for Merritt? He will. He shouldn't miss from here. He's got it. Something out of nothing for East Point. Just ahead of the half-time siren. And East Point get their second of the afternoon. They're 2-4-16. They trail Darley 4-4-28. We're back to a 12-point ball game, Fridge.
How unfortunate for the Devils. They've done all the hard work and then just a little bit of luck that goes East Point's way, and it dribbles out the back, and Merritt runs onto the footy and kicks a goal. They've been very good for 26 minutes of this quarter, and they've had about 2 minutes of this quarter, East Point, and that's it.
The incoming senior coach for East Point, been good for a goal a game, 14 in 14 now in season 2022. Back underway, Johnson gives it off. Momentum swung here as Taylor pounded towards full forward, but Leonard, read the best of the boot, dropped off his opponent, took the mark and looks to come broadcast side. Cousins was made to earn it. Umpire waves play on. Now maybe a slight problem for the Devils, but clever kick will work out. Nice mark taken by Bewley. Wants to move it on quickly, but maybe a bit too quickly to Azzopardi. Sends it out in the full, and Taylor will get East Point going once again.
Good to have the ball in front of us here, Sammy, for the first time of the day.
Makes it nice and easy to call for us here in the box as Taylor loads up, off the instep a little bit. McDougall the target, slipped through Leonard's hands. Brett will just professionally see it out of play. But inside 50 where East Point want it, they want to try to get one back at the 30-minute mark of this second term to give himself a bit of confidence and momentum, Todd, going into the halftime break.
Darley lead by 12 points. Tick over 30 minutes gone. Second term. There's the throw-in. Tanner in front. Couldn't affect the contest. Dispossessed there was Young. Ward needs to be good by hand. Got it to Jack Bewley. Kick across the body, high up and under Tillman at the back. Goes a good spoil on the football there by Joel Cadman, only as far as Rodemaronis. He can weigh up the options. Poor kick in the end, cut off there by Jack Bewley. And he took a mark in front of Geordie Johnson, chopping out his defending teammate there in Cousins. And that's what you got to do to keep Johnson at bay, as Bewley will come along the line towards centre wing. Angwin the target. At the back, Mitch Walsh couldn't take the mark. Jess Cairns fired the hand pass out. Set okay for Taylor. Handball through traffic was good. Got it to Matty Johnson. High up and under kick. Darley's got some numbers here, but Merritt got on the end of a good bounce. McDougall can kick a goal. Can he? No, he can't. Ran out of time and space and went through for a behind off to the right. So on that occasion, a let-off for the Devils, Spence.
Yeah, nearly a second-classy finish in as many minutes for Merritt there. Obviously just didn't quite get enough off it. But yeah, the Devils come back inside now, Sammy.
An 11-point margin now. Cadman just caresses one of half-back to Brett. Half-back on the outer side. Runners out there, maybe instructing plays. It's gone 31.5 minutes. As he just pops one towards the lead, and it was a good kick actually. Just took a bit off it. Davies leading man opportunity. And a long ball down the line coming from the Devils. Big fist over top from East Point is met by Coley coming through, but he ran into a brick wall at half back, and East Point's defence on this occasion has gone nearly now 32 minutes. I imagine the Martin 15 minutes is now up, Spence, and they'll be back to 18v18 to finish this term.
Yep, spot on there, Sammy, and you think the time to go any second just quietly as well.
There's the ball up. Ball at ground level. Opportunity here for Lant.
There it is.
Good call, Spence. Siren sounds for half-time here. Still anybody's game in elimination final one on this Sunday. Perfect conditions for football prevailing here at City Oval. But it's Darley who kicked 3-2 in that term to extend a 5-point lead at quarter time to a 12-point lead at the half. It's Darley 4-4-28 who lead East Point 2-5-17. An 11-point margin, in fact. Fred, you got the goal scorers.
For the Devils, Patiri 1, Young 1, Colley 1 and Van Leith 1, and singles East Point, Merrill and Jacob Brown.
And that's the thing, boys. You look at the goal scorers for East Point in Merritt and Brown. Like they're sort of the creative players across half forward that they need to bring more into this game. And particularly, we can see that Johnson's not 100% at full forward, and he's obviously carrying that ankle injury. He's sitting deeper. Ideally, they try to get a bit more space for him to actually work his magic one-on-one in the second half.
Well, I hope they time their exits perfectly off the ground here, because the 36 players will be lucky to squeeze through that one gate without a bit of a niggle, because there was certainly some heat that came into that game in that second term when Dallas Barton down Joel Cadman on half forward for the Kangas.
Yeah, certainly, and it was good because, well, it wasn't good for the sake of Joel Cabman, but it was good for the spirit of the game because it sort of ignited both sides, and we saw a really good contest for the rest of that second quarter. Obviously, it was a good start by both teams with high pressure, but there's plenty in this now, and Rodder and Johnston both goalless, which is interesting. Wouldn't have thought that would be the case at half-time, and it might be whoever can kick the most out of them two in the second half gets their team over the line. We'll see how that goes.
Well, Bridges would be relatively disappointed with their first half because, you know, that in itself, Martin getting yellow carded and, you know, something that's not real brave off the ball goes off, and, you know, in that period of time it's cost them 3 goals.
The positives are, though, is that we know how good their top-end talent is, East Point. We speak of the likes of the Johnstons, Merritt, Brown and co. Reality is there's a lot of positives to find if they can only get lift from here and then run over, hopefully in their theory, in the second half from here.
Brown just limping off the ground, so we'll be having a look at that after half-time. Hopefully he's all right because he's important for East, as Sammy said. So we can see if he can get into the game to add to his 1 goal as well as the Johnston.
But I really believe that the Darley midfield have been terrific, and they've shut the East Point midfielders down, and their 2 goals have come from chaos. They haven't come from anything that's been structured. And their decision-making going into their forward 50 and their defensive half, turnovers, they've made 4 or 5, 6 turnovers each point, you know. Like Darley have been lucky enough to capitalise on them, and look, they set up really well in defence, Darley. They rebound a lot, they get back and help out their backs. Their forwards are on the move, they're creative. Like Bridges we want a more better second half because this game, you know, they might not be able to get themselves back into the game, but we do know their best is real good.
Yeah, still anybody's game. Low scoring affair. Of course, both teams missing out on making the most of opportunity, which pretty much validates the low scoring nature of today's elimination final. At the half, it's Darley 4-4-28 who lead East Point 2-5-17. An 11-point margin to the Devils. A break and back with the third quarter action in about 15 minutes' time.
That quarter was proudly sponsored by Anytime Fitness, 72 Bennett Street, Bacchus Marsh. Mention VFL Game Day on Apple 98.5 FM to receive 50% off your joining fee, plus a free towel and water bottle.
This broadcast of VFL Game Day is proudly sponsored by Western Screens, Blinds and Awnings, 35A Griffith Street, Bacchus Marsh. Phone 53701478.
And joining us now, Darley coach Dan Jordan. Good evening, Dan.
G'day, boys. How you going?
We're all good. You must be cherry ripe, finishing 4th. That's a fantastic effort given what you've walked into. Naturally, you had a few top-up players to help you get there, but the progression of the players that were already at the club, it's some encouraging signs going forward for you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I looked into it a fair bit before I took the role on in terms of where the list's at. I was actually really excited about some of those guys into that probably 10 to 30 game bracket and the potential development of them given the football that they've missed over the last sort of 2 or 3 years. So it's good to see a few of those guys come on and, you know, I think we've reaped some benefits of that, particularly probably in the back half of the year and find ourselves playing some finals, which is terrific for the club.
We're probably going to get massive ratings, mate, just for people tuning in who obviously would have watched the replay and it travelled like wildfire. There was no Brett Bewley in the second half. What happened there, mate?
Yeah, Brett was a little bit sore during the second quarter and he sort of came to the bench in his rotation and said, look, I'm just a little bit sore and well, he's done a power of work this year and, you know, in mind that we were guaranteed a finals next week. We made the decision to just rest him up and see if you know, just to see if there's any more damage that couldn't be done. And look, he's going along okay. He's expecting to sort of train. We're going to train on Friday, so expecting to sort of train there, and then see if he gets up. Doesn't look like it's going to be a too bad a one, and Brett knows his body pretty well. He's pretty confident that he'll play, and there's probably just some prudent managing on our part in terms of he was spewing. Actually, I took him off, but trying to get back out there. But you know, that's the sort of character he is, and you know, he's played a lot of minutes this year, so a heavy toll at this time of the year, and it's careful that we manage our players.
Another one of your big finds for 2022. Nick Rodder, just the one goal last week, but timely signs for the club, being able to find 14 goals against top 6 opposition that wasn't really reliant on Rodder to get it done.
Yeah, he actually got the big knock in the first quarter, Rod. He was off for pretty much all of the second quarter, just a bit sore. So, look, the pleasing thing for us was, Brett probably didn't play the 2.5 quarters, and Nick didn't play a quarter, and was a bit capacitated when he went back out. Great opportunity for some other guys to stand up and just play our system, and I thought most of our boys didn't miss a beat in that aspect, and we were able to kick 100 points, which was enough for us to get up, and we've been trying to encourage that more even spread across the board, and sometimes you see it at a lot of levels that those people sort of go missing, yet the team sort of stands up and plays some really good footy. So yeah, we're really pleased with that.
Dan, when you hosted East at Darley Park in round 15, Mace Cousins did a very good job on Geordie Johnston. Is he getting first crack? And also, do you expect, if Brett gets up, do you expect him and Matty Johnson to go head-to-head again this weekend?
Yeah, look, in answer to the second question, I really love the battle between Brett and Matty this year. So I'd probably expect that to go head-to-head again. I think I know Brett said to him after our game, well, let's call that 1-1, Matty, because they're pretty good mates. But, so it'd be great to see them stuff like that again. Yeah, look, not sure what we'll do with Geordie. Mace had a good game on him last time, but again, it's probably around the pressure we put on around the ball and not allowing Geordie to get some one-on-ones. He's obviously a really good one-on-one player. But Mace has also, he's sacrificed his game defensively that game, and he's also a really good attacking weapon for us off half back. So we'll talk through a little bit of scenario based on that and the way we want to go. Geordie's also been spending some time in the midfield and having good impact as well. So it's a credit to his versatility, and we'll have to plan for that and see what East want to do with him.
Dan, back in round 9 when you played East Point after that 3-week break, I walked away from that game, and you were heavily in the game up until after 3/4 time, and then the legs sort of gave way in the last quarter, and I thought to myself, well, this side has actually really improved, and what I do have witnessed over the last few weeks as well is these younger guys, they're all playing their role, but they are actually taking ownership, and they don't look like developing players anymore. They're typical senior players now. Like, you see guys like Cousins, Lahure, pointing and using their voices to say, "Oh, get back here, give me a hand here, or get over here." So the development's been fantastic, and it's a real credit to the club and yourself to get to the finals, and I think you'll give it a real good shake there.
Yeah, thanks, Rich. I'm not sure if there's a question in there, but
no, well, I'm not that good. I'm giving you credit, mate, not questions.
I appreciate that, but look, the credit can't go to me. I mean, they're a terrific bunch of kids, and those two that you mentioned, Zane and Mace, Matt Brett, my sort of backs playing coach, who's obviously spent a fair bit of time off the park this year. It's been terrific with those young guys, and really invested in them and bought in and sort of helped them, and to see them grow is we've had a bit of a mantra around we're not really too results based, but we just want to see improvement week to week, and wherever that takes us is wherever it takes us. And I think sort of Macca touched on it before around our ability to sort of get better, and I sort of promised the team that there'd be a much better team come round 18 than they were round 1. Everyone thought I was silly when we knocked off the bat round 1, but I genuinely think we're playing much more consistent football, and we're playing that for longer periods in the game, and that's, to me, a sign of growth and a sign of a little bit more maturity. And the other point is the improvement never comes from this hot 2-3%. So our improvement's not going to come from our Brett Bewleys or our Nick Rodders. Our improvement's going to come from those tier of players And that's how we become a 20-30% better side, is by putting the time, the investment, making them feel comfortable, making them feel like they're senior footballers. They've definitely got the talent. It's just them being able to realise that and also understand their role within the side and what that is. I've chat to a player on the weekend who's a little bit disorientated in his role, and it's just about narrowing down, and this is exactly what we expect you to do. This is a player that's played under 19 level and playing sort of a different role down there, and this is all we expect you to do. So if you can narrow that focus, make them feel a part of it. No role is more important than another in when you're trying to execute on Saturdays, and value them for it, and you can see guys really sort of grow a leg and play an important part.
Well, Brendan made a point just before and said team that goes through the finals that more than often wins the grand final is the team that's been improving, and I see you guys as the improving side of the competition.
Yeah, well, we're coming from a very low base, Fridge, so that's you're right. But also, Brendan also said that it's a new season and starts again. So, I think it's important for our boys to just carry on what we've been doing. Continue to improve, continue to refine our game. We've got a lot of areas for growth, even out of the weekend, that we think, we can try and go to work on. We've got a really quality opposition this week, and, there's no second chances. So we know that we're going to have to play 4 quarters of consistent footy. Finals is often a time, if you look too far ahead, you can trip on that next step and not get to the top of the staircase. So it's really important that we just knuckle down, train hard, put our focus on trying to execute what we're going to do on Sunday, and hopefully that translates to a win for us.
This will be a third time in 10 weeks you've played East Point. Dan, is there much more you can do in preparation other than the 2 times you've already played him? Is everything pretty much familiar and ready to go, or is there really a lot more time spent into a game ahead for any club, really, even though you've just played them 3 or 4 weeks ago?
Oh, look, I think you've got to prepare and put the same amount of preparation in every week, whether you've played them the week before. And look, there was a realistic possibility that we might play North Ballarat again this week in terms of how it was going to end up. So this competition with 11 teams in it and a final 6, that's always going to happen at some stage. East will be a different proposition than when we played them 4 weeks ago, and and as will we. So we need to be able to plan accordingly. We need to focus on the areas that we really want to execute, and if we can get them right, then we'll be a chance to win the game. And as we know, I think the competition's so even. Anyone in that top 6 on their day can beat anyone else in that top 6. So we've got to make sure that we do everything right for it throughout the year. I mean, as Fridge mentioned, we caught them first time off a 21-day break, and perhaps we did run out of legs, perhaps we weren't quite as prepared. And then the last time, they had a couple missing as well. So, it's always a different proposition, and we go up to City Oval, of which we've never met East Point up there before. So, playing that ground, new surrounds, all those sorts of things, they're all going to come in and play, and it's just a team that's going to be able to execute better on the day.
East Point sort of head-to-head probably got the Devils for experience, maybe not necessarily top-end experience, but certainly our finals experience, even at a low level, given that, or this level, that because you've got such a young group, well, perceived young group. So East will have they'll have another level to go. I mean, they've got a couple of premierships under their belt more recently, and pretty much the core of that group still going around for them. So are you expecting it for them to go to another level on Saturday?
Oh, absolutely. They know how to get it done in finals, and they've proven that over the last sort of 3 or 4 years. Won the last 2 premierships, or I suppose full season premierships. As you say, a lot of that playing group's still there, so they know how to get it done. Jake's obviously has announced it's his last year, and they love him dearly and play for him. So they'll be keen to win a strong final series for him. So absolutely, and you've both touched a bit on our young boys, but a lot of them probably haven't played some senior finals, so it's going to be a terrific experience for them, and for them to be able to settle into the game and be able to execute the plan that we want. There's no doubt there'll be some nerves around some of those young kids, but I like that fact. Like, I think, with that youth comes a little bit of exuberance and the ability to be able to play and be adventurous, and that's a lot of our game plan is built on that. So we're hoping we can go out there and execute there, and we try to minimise around whoever we're playing and take a bit of a mantra of sort of anywhere, any time, and see if we can take that in and wherever it takes us.
So City Oval and Eastern Oval a bit like for like, are they, Dan? You've obviously had plenty of experience there as a player. Can you just enlighten us there, or are they same?
No, I think they're a bit different. I think City Oval's a bit wider and a bit bigger. I'm obviously fairly well acquainted with the Eastern Oval and enjoy that dearly. I think that when the game's going to be planned there, I'll no problem. But City Oval,
you wouldn't be able to play though, mate.
Yeah, well, that's a good point, Todd. You pointed that out. No, they're long gone those days. But for me, City Oval, wide expanses, sort of wide pockets, ability to sort of transition the ball around the other side is probably a little bit easier than the Eastern Oval. Having said that, from goal to goal, it's actually not too long. East are pretty strong in terms of their stoppages and their contests to take the ball forward. So I don't see any real advantage or disadvantage for any side playing them there. And, I think it's sort of tipped to be a good day. So, you might see some pretty, fast-flowing and moving footy and see who comes out on top. And I think the defensive game will probably be worth won or lost.
Well, let's hope so. Weather permitting, we get a couple of rippers over the weekend. Dan, hey, before we let you go, we did ask the coaches, Aaron Timms and Brendan McCartney, before they exited, one-word comment on the remaining 5 teams. You're a pretty sharp bloke, so we'll see what you come up with, and we'll just give you another couple of seconds. I'll just ramble on for a little bit, and then we'll be right to go. Okay, that should be about enough time for you, mate. Melton, one word.
Blood.
Oh, here we go. Let's stitch up. East-Point.
Kangaroos. No, I muted myself. No one else was muted it. So, look, Melton, yeah, class.
East-Point.
Dangerous.
North Ballarat.
It's 2 words, but look out.
Yep, Sebastopol.
Consistent.
And Ballarat.
Good one about Ballarat. I haven't seen it for a long time, but I would say, they just keep getting the job done. So for me, industrious.
Beautiful. Good way to finish. Hey, all the best. There'll be 5 left on Sunday, and with a bit of luck, you'll be one of the 4 at the end of Sunday, mate. So we wish you all the best.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate your coverage, boys.
Hey, who left the fridge open?
Well, we ventured down to that beautiful place, Sunbury, down the Clark Oval on the weekend, and I'll give a massive tick to the. I'm a person of I like my food, and I walked into that social room at halftime because they sparingly found a ticket for me, and it was one of the best I've come across all year. It was like going into the Langham in Melbourne. It was the Bay Maries were silver, Todd. That's how good it was.
What was in there?
There was no IGA pies, I can assure you. There was the South Melbourne Market dim sims. They're $2.50 a pop. So
couple in the pocket.
Yeah, correct. The spring rolls were sensational.
Couple down the socks.
Yeah, the focaccias went down the front because they're the big bread rolls.
Yeah.
And they were fantastic. The club sandwiches were absolutely awesome.
Just eat them while you're there.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, anyone, do yourself a favour. If that Sunbury social club there, if you're ever in town, go there and have a feed because it was sensational. Absolutely sensational. But then there has to be a negative. Well, they've got covers on that footy ground, and I know they're trying to protect the centre wicket. Well, there'd been a fair bit of rain, so I thought, well, okay, they've done the right thing here. But with about 20 minutes to the start of the under-19.
Welcome back to the City Oval for the first elimination final here on 98.5 Apple.FM, and thanks to our good friends at Red Onion Trade for streaming everything live on Clutch TV this afternoon. About to get the second half underway here. It's the Devils leading by 11 points after the main break. East-Point, of course, the reigning premiers back-to-back. Back in 2018 and 2019. Funny enough, 4 of the last 5 premierships have been won by these two sides playing in the competition. As we're waiting just for a few young spectators to leave the field so we can get action back underway, and to do all the calling here, this is Todd Whelan.
Siren sounds to get played away for the third term. Darley lead by 11 points, 28+17. Darley kicking to the left of screen. There's the ball up. Rennick past the ball was Matty Johnson. Hot footy on in earnest here. Quick start, hand pass, exit. Kick inside 50 for East-Point. Going to ground there was Leonard. Mitch Walsh kept his feet but then went to ground. 50-50 ball. Good start from the Kangas. And there'll be a ball up deep in their attack. Some 25 metres out from their goal.
Joel Mars started the quarter on Dylan Lant, who's been very quiet in the first half, so he'll be looking to get into the game.
One down there by Tanner. Opportunity here for Ward, who's been one of the Devils' best. Was spun 360 and dumped in the tackle, which has been a consistent trend we've seen from the umpires in this final series, and good to see it carrying over from Saturday to Sunday today here at the City Oval. So Ward at fullback, where they set up the Devils in defence.
Ward will go out of side of the ground. He'll run away. High penetrating kick to the outer side centre wing. Angwin sets himself, takes a nice overhead one grab mark. So he'll lope around onto that left boot. It's a thumping kick. But Ward presents short. He's just running off the ground, Ward. He looks a bit hurt after an excellent first half. Now there's that trademark kick from Angwin, but it's been cut off just inside the defensive 50 for East Ballarat. For East-Point. And it'll be Merritt with the kick. Look at that for a kick. Went about 60 metres, and Angwin nearly had a second grab out of it. Walsh stole it out of his hand. The umpire's going to give it to Angwin. So on the defensive side of centre wing, shades of old-fashioned kick-to-kick going on the outer side. Sammy?
Love it, Toddy. Good call as Angwin comes in board this time. Finds Brett. Wants to try and open up the corridor, but showed too much of it. Stolen. Picked his pocket there to Johnston, and he can load up, send it inside 50. Wasn't his best strike of the foot. He bounced off the chest of Dodd. Lucky escape maybe for the Devils. Not done yet, though. Dodd looking for McDougall. We'll try a wheel around just outside 50. Matty Johnston breaking inside 50, and he spotted him, as I did. And the captain has a crunch kick here from just inside the paint. A 45-degree angle. He'll shoot for 48-49.
Yeah, just getting caught out there. The Devils' mids not pushing forward and accounting for Matty Johnson.
Well, Lawler just stood there and wanted the ball to come straight to him instead of going forward for the footy, and that's what allowed Johnson to come through and do the interception top.
11 goals in the home and away season for Matty Johnston. Plays on to get a bit more distance in the kick. It's across the face and may not even register a score off hands of Walsh. It scrapes through for a minor 2-6-18 trails, 4-4-28. Here at the City Oval.
And young Mitch Wood, late in that second quarter, got a knock to his left shoulder, and I think he might have tweaked it again, Todd. That's why he's off.
Update coming from Fridge Freeman on the umpires picked out a free kick here. It's going to go against Leonard for a hold or a block as Matty Brett was trying to exit from full back. So there'll be a deliberate shot on goal here from directly in front.
That's 15 metres off the footy.
And it'll be McDougall here from near point-blank range, really, directly in front, and something out of nothing for East-Point, and an opportunity to kick the first goal of the third term and the first half, whatever your preference. So it'll be McDougall. It'll bring the house down for East-Point supporters here today. If they can register one here, the kick's on its way, and he's put it through. The players are up and about, and they run to McDougall's aid to give him a pat on the back for getting the job done. And East get the first goal of the third term to close. They're 3-5-23 East-Point. 3-6, in fact, 24. They trail Darley 4-4-28.
Free kick out of absolutely nothing.
Every player bar two for East-Point got to Bryson McDougall after that as well. So they're up and about now, the Kangas, and a good start to the third term. Obviously, Matty Johnston couldn't quite make the distance on his shot on goal from the set shot and rush behind, but a free kick, I think it was against Darren Leonard to Bryson McDougall, and he's gone back and put it straight through, and the Kangas are up and about.
McDougall joins Merritt and Jacob Brown as the goal scorers for Darley, Spiteri, Young, Colley and Van Lee.
Get back underway here at the City Oval. Martin in the ruck this time. Coming through was Johnston, just starting to impose himself on the contest. Lovic sold a bit of foot candy, kick inboard, those cut off. Nice mark taken there by Bewley. Looks to come broadcast side. He has men streaming for him. Kicks off the instep though and might just pitch in the field of play. Yes, it does. Cadman keeps it alive. Clever little handball to his advantage to get away from Tillman, but Tillman didn't give up the task. Ran him down and gone on the ball.
Did a lot right there, Joel Cadman. Just had his arm pinned there by Tillman, and he'll take the resultant free kick. We've got a game on here. Elimination final. Matty Johnson getting amongst it early in this third term. As Tillman loafs away onto the left boot, kicks towards half forward. At the back, juggling attempted mark by Walsh. Quick hands to Jeffrey, bumped by Land as he got rid of the handball. Going by hand there was Marr. Ended up in the hands of Walsh. Excellent tackle and pinged. Free kick. It's going to go Matty Brett's way, and what an important role he's got to play in this second half.
Hot footy here. Kick the full forward. Rodder couldn't bring it down. The second bite of the cherry. And East Point hold on this time. Martin coughed it up. Spiteri tries to shake it back his way through. Gave it off there to Lawler. Kick is on goal, but Carson's getting back and from a standing start measures a pass and finds Dodd. So East Point survived there nicely. And Joey Dodd launches out of the fence to the outer side. Dropping the mark there. Where the Devils marred the fall of the ground. Maybe just let that one slip in the contest. Umpire wave play on. East Point come in, board. Great kick to transition. And they're out here on the broadcast side. Johnston wheels around. Lovick is a fast runner. He'll load up the kick towards the movement of McDougall. Marks 50 from goal. Distance not beyond him with a vacant goal square to aim at, but he's taking his time and maybe wants to spot something up instead. Bryson McDougall kicked the last goal of this game. He might shoot from just outside 50, boys.
Just that shot on goal from Matty Johnston earlier held up in the breeze, and expect something similar from McDougall here.
Yeah, you just don't want the ball to go 2 or 3 metres out. That'd be a bad result and an easy rush behind, but he's hooked it anyway.
And in the end, as you said, Spencer's hooked it, but unopposed. Mark it. Well, no, boundary umpire said it drifted over the line to the displeasure of East Point fans, and Geordie Johnston was trying to claim the mark.
So it'll be Matthew Brett with ball in hand to clear for the Devils. He's just finger pointing some instruction of where he wants the players to go. And he goes short laterally to Cousins, who goes further afield to Lawler, who takes an uncontested mark on the chest in front of Lovick.
That's better.
Who was away on centre wing. So encouraging signs for East Point in the opening minutes of this third term. His kick along the line. Matty Johnson sets himself, takes an uncontested mark. He's imposed himself on this game in the third term. Mitch Walsh takes a mark in front of Duncan Cadman and can set East Point inside 50. Right foot kick goes out in the Johnson direction, and he's taken a mark. Up against the boundary line. It'll take his best, but he's one of only 2 or 3 on the ground that could score a goal from here, you'd think, Sammy.
Skinny pockets here at City Oval, but that's poor checking as he's able to square one up to Lovick, who marks on a 45-degree angle, and we're right behind the kick in the box here from 40 metres out.
Yeah, we've got a good angle on this one, Sammy, but a bit slack there from the Devils defenders. Cam Lovick was able to get on him by himself there inside 50 and took the mark, and now it's going to go back to might be to put East in front, is it, Sammy?
Despite the Devils' territorial dominance, East Point could take the lead here if Lovick can convert. Kick is on its way. It's a beautiful strike, but away to the left, and in the end, just a minor score. They move to 3-7 now. That is 25, trailing Darley 4-4-28 here. After 8.5 minutes here in the first elimination final at the City Oval.
Another opportunity for the Devils to exit. They've been under the pump in the opening minutes of this third term. Matthew Brett with ball in hand will loaf away and go to the outer side with a booming, thumping kick to the outer side centre wing. Angwin in front, couldn't take the mark, punched away by Bilney, went through the hands of Ladd, fell into the hands of Lahoure, and they're away. Angwin went in board to Azapati, went one way then the other, and then just tumbled the kick hopeful more than anything else. Van Leith was good at ground level, pick up okay, tackled though. Here come the reinforcements for East Point through Cairns. Could have been legged, umpire called play on. Hurried kick out of the congestion. Tanner couldn't take the mark. Johnson did the scouting, gave the hand pass over to the Land. Back to Johnson on 50s under the pump, forced to go by hand. Turnover, falls into the hands of Rodder Moronis, who took the hand pass from Jeffries into the middle of the ground. Lawler can do the mopping up, can find Duncan Cadman. Stationary, forced to go by hand. They're still under the pump here, the Devils. Mitch Ward back on the ground. Quick hands, pressure up here as you say, Spence. Hurry kick across the body, outer side centre wing. Chance here for the Kangas to go back inside 50. Walsh couldn't take the mark. Leonard goes to ground. They're a chance here, East. If they can get it to McDougall, they can't. and they missed everything and it went through for a minor score.
Disappointing result. They would have much preferred the boundary throw in there, but the pressure from the Kangas enormous, Toddy.
3 goals, 8-26 East Point trail Darley, 4-4-28.
Questions being asked of the Devils, and the kick out there is poor. Lucky just to pitch on the line maybe, and we'll get a ball in. 50 from goal.
And lucky he just ran out of the square too, otherwise it would have been an East Point free kick, but he's snuck out of the square and the ball snuck out of bounds for a throw-in.
Well said, Spence. We'll get back underway. Inside the paint now, the ball comes in. Walsh doing the ruck work, knocks it to a hot zone. Handball was somehow got its way. But a throw as the boys pick up to my left. And a let off for the Devils, who just clinging on to a lead at the minute at the City Oval. The gauntlet's being thrown down by Jake Bridges' men. How will Darley respond? Bewley, assured by foot, will have it in the fence.
So Bewley goes laterally. Kick's okay. The Devils will negotiate out of trouble through Darren Leonard, experienced campaigner in defence. Gets it towards outer side centre wing. Pushed under the football there was Page before the ball spills free over the line for a boundary throw-in. Through centre wing, outer side of the ground. Darley scoreless in this third term. We've been playing near 11 minutes, but they lead by 2 points. They're 4-4-28, East Point 3-8-26.
Martin in the ruck for East Point against Tanner. Martin gets his hands on this one. Hands and these footballs to be won on the outer side. Merritt dives in for the Kangas. Big tackle applied by the big man Tanner. Dodd manufactured something. At the front of the contest they go through Taylor towards full forward, and out the back the ball falls. Darley gets some numbers in defence, but it's a hot footy to be won. McDougall playing the role of defender, locking things up, and 25 from goal. We'll get a stoppage in a dangerous area for the Devils to defend. Deep inside forward 50. Third term action here at the City Oval. Back underway. Quick chance made for East Point at the front again through Taylor, but ball in dispute and locked up. 11.5 minutes played. 2 points the margin here at the City Oval.
Seem to be playing with more purpose and more urgency, East Point at the moment.
Ball up deep in East Point's forward line. Neither ruckman could gain any ascendancy. Young gave the hand pass over to Ward. He got around one and then just threw it onto the boot. Got plenty of purchase on the kick to outer side centre wing. But the mark's been taken there by Martin. He plays on. Squaring, kick it in the middle of the ground. Needs to be good. Q sets himself. Collie did enough to affect this ball, but Q kept his feet. Tackled by Bishop. Jack Bewley's touch on the football. Freed the ball up. Did well. There'll be a square away stopping here.
Yeah, good decision.
The umpire's going to pick a good call, boys, against Tillman. Told to play on, said the umpire. Bewley just hassled the ball onto the boot. Colley's got 2 to beat. It was the meat in the sandwich. Dallas Martin couldn't take the mark. They've got numbers here, East Point. That's why they're mounting a solid comeback here. Tumbling kick from Bilney. Got inside 50. Leonard got a little touch on the football. Marr searching hand pass over the top. Looking near towards McDougall. Brett long sweeping left-hand hand pass. Out looking near towards Young. Gathered just outside the defensive 50. How about that for a kick? It was an absolute ripper. And the Devils are away on the left boot to half forward. Angwin the target. Got it. Taking a mark on half forward. And he'll sweep around onto the left boot. Kick it low. Runner!
Oh, good hit too.
Yeah, maybe lucky that the hit from Q didn't bring Rodder to the goal line. He has to go back with the more academic set shot directly in front 40 from goal. That transition from full back to full forward, fantastic from there. Was probably the best open passage of play we've seen this afternoon.
Play of the day if he can cap it off with a goal here.
Their spearhead, the leading goal kicker in the 2022 home and away season. The equal Tony Lockett medalist with Ryan Carter from Melton. Rodder directly in front. Will shoot from 40. Crowd will do the work for me. And a happy bunch for the Devils camp. Goal to Rodder, he's first of the day. And a little bit more breathing space for the Darley Devils.
Well called, Sammy. Breathing space is what they required, the Devils, because they were pressing hard, East Point.
They want to get that one back straight away, the Kangas. They have been on top of the third quarter here at the City Oval, but Rodder gets his first of the day, and he absolutely loved it off the boot too.
Well, a bit like the second term, but on the flip side, East Point having all the play in the opening 14 minutes and Darling getting an entry and a goal. So East Point not taking the most of their opportunities.
Johnston trying to get the clearance, is rucked up immediately in the contest. Van Meel, Angwin doing the ruck work on this occasion, and we'll get a secondary ball up to get it going again at the 14.5 minute mark of this term. Angwin and Van Meel, as I said, will go to battle. Angwin worked himself to the front, knocked it down on his bar. As Cairns, who got boots of ball, playing in front, which Johnston of the Geordie variety, and he marks. Plays on, but didn't see Cadman. And he's going holding the ball. One of those tough ones, so he was probably in the protected zone, but he played on, he took the option, and the tackler is rewarded in Cadman.
He's been terrific for the Devils, especially in the second half of the season. He'll go short to Page, who just took it at mark just before the pressure of Johnson. Played on, missed the hand pass in as a party. Turnover here, Jeffries inside 50. Leonard taking the mark to save the day, much to the displeasure of McDougall, lucky to get away. And he'll go short, Leonard to Cousins, who goes short to Azapati, who was on the end of that ordinary handball, intended handball receive, and he'll go to the outer side of the ground. Penetrating kick out wide, gathered well. Thereby, it might have been Cadman. Right foot kick towards half forward. Good fly on the football, and mark taken on the outer side of the ground there by the Kangas, and an opportunity to rebound.
Yeah, we built need to load up a long ball towards centre wing. Walsh caught behind on this occasion. Ball bounces in front of him and Brett, and in the end, trickles out of play.
Now Brett will get the free kick for a hold in that marking contest.
So he can shore things up for the Devils. Had Cameron presenting short, but in the end just loads up a long one down the line, and in the end just wide and out on the full. So Koff gave it straight away back, and East Point now from the defensive side centre wing can set up. Will they be daring and bold and try to get through the corridor at some points? In the end, the operation is just a pounder down the line. High footy and came back where it came from. Brett floats in from the side, uncontested and marks. So kick to kick, as we've already said in this term tide. Brett with it on the defensive side centre wing.
One of Darley's best today. Goes short. Kick goes onto the bounce towards Cadman. Left foot kick across the body to half forward. This time in the fly, but the mark in the end taken.
Looks like Jake Tillman there floating in.
And Tillman with ball in hand on half back for the Kangas. Will weigh up the options and goes short. Finds Matty Johnson, who continues to lead up and provide a target. Will wheel and go onto the right boot. Got around. Spiteri Bishop with the pressure. Looked to Lovey, took his eye off it. Caught in the middle of the ground. There was Collies. He goes to ground. And the umpire will effect a ball up. So a win there for the Devils, Fridge.
Yeah, he was starting to get some really important touches, Ludwig, and he just cost that one up, Todd.
As we'll get back on the way in the centre of the ground. Lovic on cue. He's wrapped up immediately, and another stoppage of the result. East Point on that occasion just becoming a bit more daring through the middle. Wasn't perfect, but it's what we like to see from their game style.
Tap won by Angwin. Just knocked it to his feet. Hopeful rather than anything else. Joel Cadman sort of affected the tackle there, and there'll be a ball up right in the middle of the ground. Darley 5-4-34, lead East Point 3-8-26. An 8-point ball game as Lovig hurried left foot kick gained about 8 or 9 metres for his side. Rodimer Amos through traffic. I think Lovig's having dramas with cramp. Ball goes to the attacking 50 for East. Bailey Young over the foot. He decides to go to the soccer. Only as far as Rodimer Amos. His gather was better. Ward good at corralling. Put enough pressure on the kick. Sent it out wide looking for Jeffrey. His gather was good. His handball was searching towards Ganley. Managed to manufacture a kick in between 4 Darley players before the ball bounced. Leg break over the line for a boundary throw-in on half forward. Grandstand side, broadcast side if you like, for East Point.
Just the attacking side of centre wing for the Kangas. Lead this term, but still trailing the scoreboard. Back underway, one down by Angwin. Johnson just trying to impose himself. Lance spun by Cairns and gone. Well said, Fridge. Holding the ball. And Cairns will be silly. He's had a bad day. And might cost him side on the scoreboard here with Dylan Lance. And he's given
Johnson a little cheap one there as well.
And I reckon they'll come in and say, how do you do, a little bit over it, because they won't be happy.
Frustration getting the better of Dylan Lant there, Sammy, and wouldn't be surprised if Dan Jordan brings out the runner to take him off after that.
So Cairns, who had a side in the opening term, will line up from about 35, if you like. Kick is on its way. This one's coming back with the breeze. And East Point get one on the scoreboard thanks to a 50-metre penalty and free kick against Dylan Lance. They move to 4 goals. 8-32. They trailed Darley 5-4, 34 here at the City Oval in the first elimination final on 98.5 Apple FM, streaming live thanks to our good friends at Red Onion Creative and of course on the Clutch TV app.
Yeah, just silly play by Lant. He just cost the side a goal there, and Jordan would be furious with that reaction with Lant.
Back in the middle of the ground here, East-Point with 2 goals, 3 for the term. Darley with 1 goal. 34. Place 32, a 2-point lead to the Devils. Back in the middle, there's the tap. Won by, well, we'll give it to Lant. Johnston over the footy, couldn't gather. Hot footy on in earnest here. Hand pass missed the target. Bishop off half forward, needs to be clean. Got it to Cadman. Hurry the kick forward. Rodder in front. Martin at the back. Tackle, take it to the ground. How will the umpire call it? Calls play on. Ball at ground level, expecting a stoppage here. And there'll be a ball up some 15 minutes out. Metres out from the Darley goal.
Seen a bit of versatility in Dallas Martin. Been underdone this season. Doesn't play a lot of footy, but at full back in the ruck in this corner at times. Johnston, creative play, a left foot snap out of the pack! And the instant response for the Devils. Will Johnston with an absolute beauty, goal and A sort of stuff. Moves the Devils to 6 goals, 40 points. Leading East-Point, as I said, 4 goals, 8:32 here, live at the City Oval.
Yeah, last 2 goals have come from 2 under-19 players for East-Point and Darley respectively, so Jesse Cairns and Will Johnson, and a good finish by Will Johnson, it has to be said there. He missed a lot of the season through injury, and he's come back into the side and has shown why he's deserving of a spot in the senior side at Darley, and a good finish, like I said, Sammy.
He's got that mercurial talent and was on full display there, Todd.
Back in the middle of the ground here. There they go. Tanner won the tap. Van Leet, second ever tackle. Taken to the ground. Loose ball opportunity here for Q. Quick hands. Got it. Oh, wanting a free kick down the ground. There was Johnson. Umpire let it go. Marr through traffic. Could have given it to Dodd, but went onto the left boot. Searching kick inside 50. Tackling attempted. Mark's ball there by Lahouray, but then he was tackled. Holding the ball, said the umpire. So a response imminent here. It'll be Matty Johnson with a shot on goal from 45 metres out directly in front.
He's only grabbed possession of the footing and was tackled and...
Unlucky there, wasn't he?
I didn't get any prior, did he?
I thought he might have been stripped in the tackle as well, and that's how it spilled out, but incorrect disposal. You can see where the umpire was coming from. Hot footy, tough decision, 50-50 balls to be made, 50-50 calls by the umpire. Johnston will line up directly in front. Kick is on its way. And again, it's away to the left from him. Goal kicking has been in trouble for him over the journey. It has been so far in this elimination final. A couple of sides in this term are behind, and one that didn't make the distance from the same sort of distance. 22.5 minutes played. The Devils holding on with a 7-point lead here at the City Oval.
He has come into the game though, Matty Johnston, it must be said, Toddy, and important for East that he does so.
Him and Mika.
Mitch Ward still favouring that left shoulder. He doesn't look 100%, but we'll keep an eye on him. He's been a very solid contributor today. Matthew Brett with ball in hand will go out of sight. His distribution out of defence, very important. This one no exception. Beyond half back. Play the fly! Terrific overhead mark taken there by the Kangas. They waste no time. They send the ball back inside 50. Johnson the fly. Couldn't take the mark. Keeping his feet there was Cousins. Rebounds the ball back into the middle of the ground. Angwin got a leg break. Rodder's pushed up. He's tackled. Slung to the ground by Ganley. Lucky to get away with that. Ball spills free. Quick hands from Van Miel. Got it to Walsh. Left foot kick from the Kangas inside 50. At the back, Cousins went the spoil. Got it to ground. Hot footy hit. Back tackle was terrific from the Devils' defence. They got numbers here, but can they negotiate? They can. It's through Cousins. Left foot finds Mitch Ward, and he's off on his bike. He's got he got a terrible bounce. Now he's in trouble. Just had to throw it onto the boot. How will it sit for Angwin? Got a favourable bounce, the big fella. Tumbling kick. Got towards the attacking 50. Rodder presents in front of Martin. East Point have got numbers again, but Angwin's tackle's terrific. Powered up, holding the ball. And Angwin will take the resultant free kick against Ganley, and an opportunity to send the Devils forward.
Wheels around to that trusty left, pulls the kick inside forward 50. Desperate to get back was Walsh. And his original native home in defence just got the timely fist in and went out of play. We've played 24.5 minutes in this third term. Of course, the victors this afternoon will progress and play Ballarat next Sunday afternoon in the second semi-final. We're back underway, deep inside 50. Rodder wins it down. Baker with the hand pass off there to Angwin from a standing start. It's all the way home. Wonderful goal by Trent Angwin.
Great goal.
Back-to-back ones for the Devils here at the City Oval to get the game out to a 13-point ball game. They move to 7 goals 4 here. That'd be 46, leading East Point 4 goals. 9 now, 33.
7 individual goal kickers for the Devils. Angwin joins Spiteri, Young, Rodder, Colley, Johnson and Van Leaf on the goal front. Whilst for East Point, Merritt, McDougall, Jacob Brown and Jesse Cairns, 1 each.
The last 2 goals from Darley coming something out of nothing.
100% right, Sammy.
We're back underway. East Point centre forward through Van Meel on this occasion. Good spoil there by Cadman, brought it to ground. Opportunity still here for Bishop. Went to the deck early. Darley rushed towards the boundary line. Merritt got a hand in there and saw it out as well in between half forward and centre wing on the outer side. 25.5 minutes played here. Darley leading the first match final here at the City Oval.
Boundary throw-in, it'll be Tanner and Van Meel. Gee, that boundary throw-in went 25 metres Darley's way. Matty Johnson will get a free kick here for a hold. Any day of the week there, outer side centre wing. It's the would-be tackler there in Tanner, just blindsided, I think, as Johnson tumbling kick inside 50. Players set themselves. Leonard in front, couldn't quite pull down the mark. The scrimmage of players bees to a honeypot. The umpire says, I'll have it. And he'll come in and effect the ball up some 35 to 40 metres away from the East Point goal. Tick over 26 minutes gone, third term. It's Darley 7-4-46 who lead East Point 4-9-33.
Clever knocked down by Walsh, but fisted forward there towards Buell. He was run down. Umpire said he tried more than anything and didn't reward the East Point tackler. Marr broke one tackle. Left foot kick will fall in the right forward pocket. Off hands, out of bounds. Both players trying to take the spectacular mark, and deep inside forward 50 at the 26.5 minute mark of this term. East Point have had 6 scoring shots in this quarter. Haven't been able to convert on the scoreboard. Darley 3 sniffs and 3 goals have them the lead.
There's the throw in. Tap went over the back, got to the defensive 50 for the Devils. Cousins needed to be clean. Quick hands was okay. Got it to Azzopardi. Further afield over towards Young, who got it towards half forward. Looking there towards Angwin. Got a favourable bounce. Will try and get onto that left boot. Missed the target by hand. It was meant for Young. But here come the reinforcements for East Point. High up and under kick being paid down the ground for a free kick against Angwin. As Van Meel was dumped as he kicked, and there'll be a resultant down the ground kick. It's going to go to East Point.
And Marr will be the one to be able to pick it up and send the Kangas forward.
Oh, they're going to bring it all the way back.
Maybe some over officiating there, but it's going to end up in the hands of Bilney now on the defensive side of centre wing. And he wheels and goes immediately inboard with a kick. Looking for Carson. Marks on his chest. Uses his bigger frame in front of Bishop. From the middle of the ground. Can't be long left in this term. Has to get it a deep entry. Loads up from a standing start. Kick's gone wide, but found its target. Marks taken there by Matty Johnston. Too far at the score against the Breeze. Looking for the connection with his brother, maybe. Long ball to the top of the square. Walsh for 5 from the back. Won't quite get there. Big fist by Darley. Clears it. Jeffries runs around. Opens up the ankle and snaps across the face. And in the end, pitches in the field play before pitching out of bounds.
Yeah,
everything.
Just valleyed the footy there, Jack Jeffrey. A bit disappointed, you could see. After it came off his boot, he was frustrated with himself there, but it's locked inside forward 50 for the Kangas.
They've had plenty of opportunities, East, in this quarter.
Indeed they have. They've just kicked 2 goals, 4 from their opportunity. Tap one by Tanner. Down to Walsh across the body, cut off there in the goal square. It's on the last line of defence here. 50-50 ball finally knocked through. And there'll be another behind to East Point. So for all of their way to forward 50 entries in this term, they've managed just 2 goals, 5, and Darley 3 goals straight. Sammy.
That's the difference in the game at the minute. The accurate Devils holding a slender lead here at the City Oval. Brett, as he has all 10 times this afternoon, doing the kicking duties and goes long to the outer side. Angwin in the end elected to spoil and just knock it towards the boundary line, gaining some vital territory in the latter stage of this term. And as I say, that is the term. Siren sounds here for 3/4 time at the City Oval. It's Darley leading 7 goals 4-46 to East Point's 4 goals 10-34.
French, you got the goal scorers.
All singles, Toddy, Angwin, Spiteri, Young, Rodder, Colley, Johnson and Van Leith. For East Point, Merritt, McDougall, Brown and Cairns.
How do you see that third term, Spence? East really put their hand up early and responded with a couple of goals to narrow the margin, but 3 straight goals for the Devils. Real steadying influence at three-quarter time.
Yeah, spot on there, Toddy. And, Matty Johnson, the skipper of the East Point side, lifted the boys. He needed to because he was a bit quiet in the first half. Bailey Young did a fantastic job in the first half, and he was able to get himself into the game in that third quarter and really lift his side. So 2 goals down at three-quarter time. There's obviously some inaccurate kicking a result of that, and it was a fantastic quarter compared to the first 2, that's for sure. The Devils will be happy with getting some goals on the board because they were able to probably not dominate as much as they did in the first half, where East weren't able to get on top like they did in the third quarter. So an exciting term ahead at the last quarter of the season for one of the sides, and we're going to find out who it is in about half an hour, Toddy.
Yeah, well, in about 7 or 8 minutes' time, we'll be able to get play underway to get this final term done and dusted at three-quarter time in this elimination final 1 match between Darley and East Point at City Oval. The audio by Apple 98.5 FM and the vision by Red Onion and the Clutch TV app. It's the Devils who lead with a slender 13-point advantage, 7-4-46. East Point 4-9-33. Three-quarter time here. A break and back with the final quarter action. Stick with us.
Are you wondering? Facebook is that American book online. Pocketbook is that Australian book online, and it's also printed. See pocketbooks.com.au or Google PBEZY. That's PB Easy. Or just read your delivered printed pocketbook. That's Pocketbooks, your local hub. Phone and street directory and tourist guide. Pocketbook, your local phone and street directory. Proud sponsors of Apple 98.5 FM.
Live a positive quality of life. Bacchus Marsh Dental House. We will make you smile. Our team of dentists and hygienists will look after you and your family's teeth and gums for complete health and wellness. For the past 20 years, we have helped many people in maintaining quality of life and to continue living with confidence. Bacchus Marsh Dental House. Live with confidence.
52 Gisborne Road, phone 53152 777. Sponsors of this station.
Back in Motion, Bacchus Marsh has been providing physiotherapy, massage, clinical exercise and rehab to the local community for over 7 years. Their goal is to help you achieve optimal, lifelong physical health, helping you achieve lasting results. Call 53674130 to book your free initial assessment with one of their qualified physios. Back in Motion at 3 Clifton Drive, Bacchus Marsh, are proud sponsors of Apple 98.5 FM.
Rusdale Proprietary Limited, phone 0419 568 635. For all your site and construction needs, be they large or small, phone the top man, Graham Gillespie at Rusdale to get your job done quickly and efficiently. Rusdale Proprietary Limited, proud sponsor of Apple 98.5 FM. Greedy Grub, 2 Albert Street, Darley, phone 53672888. Are you out on the road feeling like something to eat? Greedy Grub is here to satisfy your hunger. We are open from 4 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday. Greedy Grub, a proud sponsor of Apple 98.5 FM Community Radio.
Have you got a smashed windscreen or a stone chip you need to replace or repair? Call us at the Windscreen Man and we can have you safely back on the road in no time. We specialise in front, rear and side glass on all types of cars, vans, utes, trucks and machinery. Call us now on 0414633343. The Windscreen Man, proud sponsor of Apple 98.5 FM.
Jeff Jones Plants and Produce for all your fresh fruit and veggies. All summer produce available. Stone fruit, mangoes, apricots, nectarines, plums and of course their magnificent strawberries and cherries. All year round they have seedlings, potting mix and manure. Come and meet their friendly staff and savour the fresh fruit and vegetables. Jeff Jones Plants and Produce, 388 The Avenue of Honour in Bacchus Marsh, a proud sponsor of Apple 98.5 FM.
Tech Global, having problems with your computer or technical equipment? Your first call for help is to Marcel at Tech Global 0439 300 966. Email marcel@techglobal.com.au. Proud sponsor, Apple 98.5 FM.
Hello, it's Chris from the Salvos. Join us every Sunday morning at 8 for Light and Life, where we look at issues that face each of us in our daily lives. We hear encouraging stories from people who've found freedom from destructive behaviour, and we have special guests who are experts in their field to help us find freedom from whatever's holding us back in our life. Freedom from addictions, freedom from poor self-esteem, freedom to make us the people we really want to be. Light and Life, every Sunday morning at 8, right here on 98.5 Apple FM.
Hey all, it's Sticks, throwing out a call to all you members of the Metal Militia out there to come and join me in raising some hell with the new Metal for the Masses heavy metal show. A solid 2 hours of hardcore insanity to bang those heads and raise those devil horns. Every Thursday night from 8 till 10 p.m. right here on Apple 98.5 FM.
Ferguson Player Bakehouse, 151A Main Street, for all your hot and cold pastries, sweets, teas and coffees, cold drinks and specialty cakes for all occasions, made to order or choose from their range on display. Under current conditions, dine-in COVID-safe rules apply and masks must be worn in the store. Phone 5367 7077 to place an order or book a table. Ferguson Player is a proud sponsor of Apple 98.5 FM.
Stockdale and Lego means real estate because your success is our business. Take a look at our station sponsor website www.stockdaleandlego.com/Bacchusmarsh and like our Facebook page to keep up to date with new listings, open for inspections and rental availabilities. Stockdale and Lego, we are here for you. Proud sponsor of Apple 98.5 FM.
Greedy Grub, 2 Albert Street, Darley. Phone 53672888. Stop for your healthy early morning food start. Open from 4 a.m. till 2 p.m. Monday to Friday. Greedy Grub, proud sponsor, Apple 98.5 FM radio.
Embroidery Melton are soon to become fully promoted Melton. Only the name and premises will be changing. They will still have the same great promotional products, workwear and service to help you get your business or club recognised in the community. Embroidery Melton help Apple 98.5 FM become fully promoted and can do the same for you. Call Frank on 9743 2550, proud sponsor of this station.
Studies show smiling is directly linked to confidence. A healthy and beautiful smile boosts self-esteem and allows us to live with confidence. Bacchus Marsh Dental House. We will make you smile with our comprehensive care and a range of finance options that fits your lifestyle. We offer a variety of services including dental implants, orthodontic, Invisalign and children's dentistry.
52 Gisborne Road, phone 531527 777. Sponsors of this station.
Welcome back to City Oval ahead of the final quarter action here in Elimination Final 1. Darley endeavouring to hang on to a 12-point lead. They lead 7-4-46. East-Point 4-10-34. 12-point ball game. East-Point kicking with a slight breeze that's only really pronounced when you're out there on the ground. And just looking at some of the carry on shots and goal from Matty Johnson and the like, some have held up, kicking to the scoreboard end. All right, to take it away for the fourth term, it's Sammy Young.
Underway here for the final time at the City Oval this afternoon. Knocks to the advantage of the Devils, but Rotoma owners got there first. Baker wrapped him up. Greenwood free just in time. Did Rotoma owners to Johnston. Pounds it off centre half back towards the outer side. Jeffries, well in the end, Canny just comes streaming through. Took one bounce, ran to 50. Measured pass will go inside the paint. Opportunity for Marr to square the ball towards Walsh. And he hits his target. And Walsh directly in front in the opening minute of this final term will make it single figures once again here at the City Oval.
Just the start, East-Point were after Fridge in the opening minute.
Yeah, Rodman Onus getting it out of the middle and good vision to centre that footy and give a shot on goal, Todd.
Yeah, Matty Johnson, Joel Marr with early touches and of course Canny with speed across half forward. has enabled Mitch Walsh with a shot on goal. 30 metres out directly in front. 12-point lead is now 11. A let-off again for the Devils. A minute gone, final term. East Point 4-11-35. Darley 7-4-46. It's an 11-point ball game.
Last 8 shots on goal have been 2-6 now.
Walsh. Sorry, Brett's 3 in the Walsh kick from the behind, so he looks to the outside, does Brett, with a long ball. Rodder, sandwiched between a couple. At the back it goes. Johnston was slung in the tackle, got it to Merritt somehow, and he just pounded on the boot, but unfortunately for the East Point fans, has drifted out in the full, which means the Devils get a reprieve. 11-point leaders. They can reassess from half back with Shane Page, who hasn't been as assured as we've become accustomed to here on 98.5 Apple FM's broadcast over the years.
So Page will play on and go by the right boot. Penetrating kick beyond centre wing. Players set themselves. Good purchase on the football from the East Point defence. Jeffrey leading into the race for the ball. Wanted a hold, didn't get one. And the ball spilled free over the line for a boundary throw-in on half forward outer side of the ground for East Point.
Starting forward in the middle for Darley were Cadman, Baker, Tanner and Young, and for East, Cairns, Miko Ramos, Van Mill and Johnson top.
We're back underway here. Neither ruckman really get a handle on that one. Ratomo Onos just with strength got through and got the hands free just in time. Cairns inside looking for Johnston. He got the arms up and the handball over the top. Merritt wants to see it forward of field, but couldn't keep it in. Ran out of real estate. Taken side of centre wing in between half forward and the centre wing on the outer side of the ground. East Point, you feel in a low-scoring affair. Want to get one on the score sheet early here to leave a big run home to try to run on top of Darley here at the City Oval.
Half forward outer side of the ground for East Point. Boundary throw in. Van Mill in the ruck. Won that tap. Knocked it boundary side. Collection of players trying to keep it in. Somehow it was there by Cairns. It's hacked it forward. Something out of nothing there for East Point. The mark's been taken there by Marr. Some 49 metres out from goal. Slight angle. Will take his best from here, you'd think.
Wouldn't have thought he had the wheels, Todd.
So, well, with a slight breeze, you can get some penetration. So, a big high up and under will get to the goal line. Players set themselves. Matty Brett gets enough purchase. Good call, Sammy. Through for a rush behind. East Point, 4-12-36. Going the long way home by behinds. Darley 7-4-46. 10-point ball game. 3.5 minutes gone, final term.
Brett, for the 12th time this afternoon, will bring it into the field of play. We'll look to the outside, as he has all afternoon, with a long ball. Looking for the high five. Ain't going over the top. Couldn't get a handle on this one. Ball spills at the back. Numbers favour East Point. They like to go forward by hand, but missing Nestor with the hand pass. Baker now with it. Over the top, the Devils look to move through as a party. Now Rodder. Nothing to aim at inside 50 as of yet, so you hold it up and wait. Load up from Angwin in towards the top of the goal square. Breaking back down, there was Van Leef. Couldn't take the mark. East Point get numbers in defence to try to lock things up. Ball in dispute. Dangerous players lurking for the Devils, but in the end, a stoppage is the only result from that one. 4.5 minutes played in this final term. The slingshot from Darley has been impressive again. They get it deep inside forward 50.
Yeah, they did well to push back there, East Point, to negate that forward entry kick of Angwin. There'll be a ball up. Tap won by Rodder. Ball just squeezed out defensive side for East Point. Going to ground there was Jeffrey. Shoveled the ball out towards Lovick. He went inboard by hand. Right foot kick along the line. Plenty of it to a vacant forward line. Foot race on in earnest here. Leading into the race for the ball. McDougall went to soccer. Wanting it to sit up for him. It does. He's got around one. Squaring kick. Was hopeful rather than anything else in front. The hooray. Might have caught one over the shoulder. Quick hands from Cousins to Brett. Back to Cousins. And they go by hand. Leonard with the Shepherd on roll. The tackle. Ping holding the ball. And it's going to be a free kick. It's going to go against the Devils and against Cousins. And a shot on goal here from the boundary line from Geordie Johnson. Will take his best and he'll straighten up East Point if he can sink this one. Banana kick around the body. Has he got it? He hasn't.
A bit stiff there. Just a quick mention, Toddy, to Jack Jeffrey on the half-back flank for East Point. He did superbly. He chose to go to ground and it was the right option in the end. And as a result of that, the Kangas were able to get the ball forward, and then a shot on goal for Geordie Johnston went through for a behind, but great effort by Jack Jeffrey.
Brett long to the outside once again. Angwin, the deepest target. Spoiled for there by Van Meal. Johnson with space. Straight a hand pass. Now quick kick by Taylor will dribble inside forward 50. Johnston grabs the pack, kept it alive. Opportunity for McDougall. The centre to the top of the square. Walsh the target from the back. Crunch the pack. Lahare brought it down to ground. Off the deck by McDougall. Alive in the goal square. And Canny couldn't get it. No, he's been held. Both arms wrapped around him.
And 50.
So a certain goal here now for East Point. And we'll make it single figures as Nesta from the goal line pops it through. And East Point get first blood in the final term of the first elimination final. They move now to 5 goals 13 here. Trailing Darley 7-4-46 here on 98.5 Apple FM's broadcast. Thanks to our good friends at Renault and Creative live on Clutch TV. Devils holding on just. East Point making a comeback.
Yeah, disappointing. The Darley Devils there giving away a free kick inside 50, and they weren't too happy with the call, but you've got to play to the whistle at the end of the day. The umpires are out there to make the decisions, and you've got to react as a result of what they choose to adjudicate. So a goal to East Point, and back to the middle, Sammy.
Ball up here. Next goal all important. We're going to game on. Tanner won the tap. Leading into the race for the ball, Young. How will it sit for him? He decides to go to soccer. Going about 15 metres for his side. Bishop at ground level. Couldn't gather cleanly. Pressure comes from East Point again. Tackle players in from everywhere. Darley wanting holding the ball. Umpire says, no, I'll have it. There'll be a ball up. Outer side half forward for the Devils. East Point 5-13-43. Darley 7-4-46. And the ball up to take place. Outer side half forward for Darley.
Vermeer went early, won it down. East Point trying to come through the corridor, although the hand pass for Tony Otis found Nesta, the last goal kicker. He goes long to the outer side, and Walsh in front takes the mark in between him and the boundary line. Goes in board with the kick, trying to give Jeffries a chance, but in the end probably bit off a bit too much with that one. Cut off by Lahare, who will go towards the outer side, and the Devils happy to go and play this point, just take some pressure off as Brett measures, finds former captain Page. Virtually opposite from our broadcast position on the outer side. Page unloads a long ball, which will go right to the half-forward line. Tanner from the side. Couldn't really impose the contest in the end. And Bilney, too big and too strong, takes the mark and looks to load up down the line. Risky kick. Lahare flew early, couldn't bring it down. Cairns did well not to tunnel him underneath that line. Quick kick forwards cut off. The veteran Leonard's in the hole. He marks and will now assure things in the fence for the Devils, you'd think, Todd.
Yeah, saving grab from Leonard. Went short to Baker. Half back out of side, can go short to Young. Found him. Defensive side of centre wing here, the Devils. They're under the pump. East Point with 1 goal 3 in this term. Narly with no score, but they cling to a 3-point lead. High up and under kick to half forward. In from the side, Matty Johnson took an uncontested mark in the end. He'll have an opportunity to rebound the Kangas. So they're playing with every bit of confidence, East Point, to reel in this Devils' slender lead. Smothered kick, kicked it into the tallest man on the ground in Tanner. His chase was terrific, but Johnson kicked to an uncontested mark on the outer side centre wing, taken in by Merritt. He wasted no time. Right foot kick, inside 50. Johnson!
Mark of the day.
Geordie Johnson's pulled down mark of the day. The timely one at that. 40 metres out from goal.
Great call on that one there, Toddy. And JJ, well, hasn't got one between the big sticks yet. He's been threatening all afternoon with all the play in this term. And to be honest, majority of the second half. East Point at the 10-minute mark of this final term. Through Jordan Johnston. Got very close to the man of the mark. And in the end, just only has registered a minor score.
Yeah, fantastic mark there, Sammy. And they probably saw on the clutch up the hang time he had, but it was a bit, once the ball came off the boot from Merritt, Johnson realised it was going to go a bit long, and he went back and had to sit on Cousins and took a great mark.
Darley lead by 2 points, 46 plays, 44. Matty Brett brings the ball back into play, out of side, looking for Angwin, took a nice mark, umpire called play on. 50-50 ball close up against the boundary line. Bit of a stacks on the mill, the umpire says I'll have it, and you'll come in and affect the ball up on half forward, out of side of the ground for East Point, who continue to press with 5 scoring shots on goal in this final term. But just the 1-4 return, Sammy.
Vermeer went early. Cadman couldn't quite gather. Umpires picked that free kick though. It's going to go the way of the Devils for a hold and the way of Cadman, who can just try to settle things in between half-back and centre wing on the outer side. Called the play on now. He just dumps it down the line. Looking for the high flyers, and Rodder is gone early. Didn't touch that one. Ball trickles out of play in front of the Darley's coach's box, which would just be starting to get a little bit nervy. Led for the majority of the afternoon, won every quarter. At the minute, just have no answers for East Point's press forward of footy. It's 2 points to margin, 46 leads 44.
Season on the line stuff here. Halfway through this final term. Tap one by Tanner. Opportunity here for Rodder Morone, if he can gather. He couldn't. He's got a second opportunity here. Gathers this time. Now passes the ball forward. How will it sit for Toorbin? Okay, got onto the left boot. Kick across the body to the attacking 50. Johnson comes out, takes a mark on the chest. I speak of Matty Johnson. And he'll go back and have a shot on goal from 49 metres out.
And Fridge, how good was the work off the footy there by Matty Johnson to work himself to the front? The kick wasn't perfect, but he made it perfect.
And they stopped, started, then took off and once again create defensive space and run under the mark.
Lunge forward like Jonathan Brown style, and will kick from 50 to put East Point in front. The captain's kick is on way, and like his brothers won a couple of moments ago, it's away to the right, and it's now a 1 point ball game here at the City Oval. 7-4-46 leads 4 goals, 15-45. An inaccurate East Point unable to pinch the lead here. Darley clinging on through Matty Brett to full back now.
Brings the ball back into play. Kick has to be good. Cut off by Matty Johnson again.
Inspirational.
Well, he's been massive in the second half. Matty Brett electing to go direct out of defence. Kick had to be spot on. Matty Johnson just doing enough with every bit of his experience to cut off that. Well, Ward was going to gobble it up, but just reading it beautifully was Johnson.
Well, he just baited him, and to all Matty Brett's good work today, kicking off one step from full back at this point of the game. A little lapse of concentration, maybe.
So Johnson with a chance. Shot on goal, goes across the face. There's been a mark taken on the last line of defence to deny East Point a score. And it'll be Matty Brett again. Will go short to Cousins. So Darley hanging on to a 1 point lead. 7-4-46 plays 5-15-45. So Cousins will go along the line. They're under the pump at City Oval here, the Devils. Kick towards half-back. Going to spoil there was Van Meal. Didn't realise how much space he had. Waiting at the back was Rodder Moronis. Got it to Building, who just thumped it on the boot. Another territory kick for Building. Spoil on the football on Johnson was good. Jeffrey ran onto the football and it just kicked off bounds and kicked it out of bounds on the full. And the resultant free kick will go to Mace Cousins.
Every time he turns on those afterburners, Jeffries, you just think something's going to happen this time. Just couldn't drag it back in the field of play. Cousins, ever reliable by foot on that left side, just opens up and pounds it down the line. Johnston slipped back, couldn't take the mark, ball spills out the back, foot race on Angwin and Building. Good tackle by Angwin not to get into the back. Cadman has the boundary line if he likes, and they'll just see it over there. We'll get a ball in on true centre wing here on our broadcast side.
Just getting numbers around the contest at the moment, East Point.
And more importantly, getting the ball at the cold face. Absolutely dominant these 14 and a half minutes of this term. Darley have no answers. They lead by 1 point. Van Meal and Fringes, though, are led off to the Devils' need. An opportunity for Angwin on centre wing to drive Darley into attack.
So Angwin, normally a prodigious kick of the ball. He likes to go short, and Lawler's taking a chest mark in the middle of the ground. None more important.
Good catch in the gully there by Lawler there.
Well, cricket runs in the family. He'll run to centre wing. Right foot kick. I'm not sure if the Devils are better off with that. Tumbling kick to half forward. Able to sit. Roddo needs to be quick. Missed the target there in Mitch Ward. And they'll run away. Martin got the quick hands to Dodd, who went along the line looking for Johnson. He's got Cousins to beat. Went over the head. Letting assist there was Matty Brett, who went the spoil. Did well. Cousins got it to Lawler, who just spewed a kick out wide. Oh, diving attempted back. They've got numbers here. They want to be quick here. Ward got it to Bewley. Inboard to Angwin. Need to be quick. Pressure coming. Gone again. Nearly in the back. How will the umpire adjudicate? Lets it go. Matty Johnson ran to grandstand centre wing. Tumbling hand pass. Got to Rodder Moronis on the bounce. Matty Johnson can put East Point in front. Shot on goal. Off to the left for a minor score. Scores level here at Eastern Oval.
That might be 1 goal 4 for Matty Johnson, I think. Despite he picked 3 in the last 5 minutes, really, so he's disappointed with that.
Scores a level, and Brett goes quickly to the outer side. Trying to take play over top. There was Bilney. Kept it alive remarkably. East Point seen towards boundary line play by Coley and rewarded holding the ball. We said it was going to be tight, Todd. The stats said it'd be a draw. 16 minutes gone in the final term. It is a draw. Nothing in it here at the City Oval. And now the Devils have it on half-back.
So they'll go long along the line. Penetrated kick beyond centre wing. Angwin's trying hard. He's competed in the air all day for the Devils. It spills out to Young. He went over the top to Rodder. There's no one in front of him. Umpire's picked out a free kick. It's going to come back. The Devil on the ground there will just get the cheating eyes on him. It's Bailey Young. He doesn't mind getting himself in the wars. But free kick to the Devils. Scores level here. Been playing 16 and a half minutes in this final term. Darley 7-4-46. Darley East Point 5-16-46. So they've got the ball on half forward, the Devils. It'll be Joel Cadman. Penetrating kick inside 50. In front, Angwood. Ball knocked away from him. Who's at ground level? Mar was one of those, so too Carson's. Defensive forward pressure from the Devils good to affect the stoppage some 15 metres out from their goal.
In the first real time this term, the Devils have been able to get it deep inside forward 50. And now with the scores level, have trying to find a way, hit the scoreboard. Knocked down by Angwin for a neutral territory. Big tackle applied on Rodder there by Rotoma Onus and be locked up 30 from goal. Of course, 3 goals straight after half-time for Darley, whilst East Point, well, they've done it the hard way. 3 goals, 11. Could have put the game beyond doubt with some accurate kicking.
There's the ball up, tap one by Angwin, went boundary side. Spiteri over the football with Geordie Johnson, who tried to wrestle the ball away from, it might have been Loebing, in fact, before it's hacked by the left boot. Out of defence, in front, the Devils couldn't take the mark. Ball on half forward for them before the umpire will come in and effect a ball up. So it's about 70 metres away from the Darley goal and about 120 metres away from us here in the broadcast area. There'll be a ball up, outside half forward. Contesting the ruck, Angwin went over his head. Chance here. Umpire picked out a free kick here. It's going to go to East Point for a push in the back. It's going to go Matty Johnson's way, who really has been instrumental in this second half. Been terrific.
Has lifted immensely.
So he has ball in hand. Scores level here. Picking with the aid of a slight breeze and momentum East Point at the moment. Right foot kick toward the fly. Couldn't quite take the mark. He's pretty hurt though. Ball at ground level and there's a free kick for holding the ball. Wowee. Play on, said the umpire now.
And Dodd pounds it inside 50. JJ to deepest forward. It won't get there though. Cousins not paid the mark. Has to go immediately. Just dumps it out of defence. Big contest on the outside. And Young.
What a mark.
Did so well. Had 2 to beat and just used the body the best. Can hold it up of half-back. Can Bailey Young. As we approach time on in the final term. High ball towards centre wing. In the end, it's pitched on the line and it's gone out of bounds. So we'll get a ball in directly opposite from our broadcast position. Anyone's ball game here. The first elimination final here live on 98.5 Apple FM. Thanks to our good friends at Red Onion Creative for streaming on Clutch TV. This is Todd Whelan.
Darley 7-4-46. East Point 5-16-46. Scores level. Next disposal. All important territory. Gain. Opportunity for Rodder Moronis to fed the hand pass out. Ball went towards half forward. Territory kick, as I spoke of, for East Point, found its way to half forward over the line for a boundary throw-in. 19 and a half minutes gone, final term. Scores level here at City Oval.
Club legend David Barnes, don't be going to get a stubby out of the fridge. Stay tuned, mate.
Get back underway here. With Van Meel just slapping it forward, and Rotoma just gets off his bike. Will pound it towards to the top of the goal square. Johnson and Cousins was there, both arms around the waist. Umpire disagrees with me. McDougall gets boots of ball right to the goal base. Oh, yes. Missed at the last second. I thought it was going to bring the house down was Bryson, but another minor score. They're 7th behind in this term, East Point, but for the first time in, well, I think maybe even all afternoon, so they've taken the lead here.
So Darley have to score or it's season over. They'll bring the ball back into play. It'll be Leonard who lopes away. On the right boot, gets it towards half-back. Young the target. Couldn't take the mark. Opportunity here for Johnson. The dangerous Johnson squaring kick. Meant for Merritt. Page read it well. Cut it off and took a nice mark. So he'll play on. The dual club best and fairest kick to centre wing. Tanner sets himself. Couldn't get a hand to it. Ball spills free. Chance here for the Devils through Spiteri. He ran out of space for the line. Ball rolled over the line for a boundary throw-in. On half forward for East Point, out of sight of the ground. And it's the Kangas who lead by 1 point.
They're attacking side of centre wing as well. You feel like in a low-scoring affair, there might only just be one more goal in this game. It's been that tight of a tussle. East Point haven't made a count on the scoreboard. They've had a fair run in this term to put the game beyond doubt. Their captain in Johnston, 3 opportunities of his own. We'll get back underway now. The ball now towards more true centre wing. Van Meel just tries to slap it forward. Off hands, Brett got involved for Darley. They'll come away with it through Lance. Spears the ball down the line. Opportunity there for England, but it was just at his feet. And in the end, just couldn't quite pick it down that low. It's a 1 point ball game, 21.5 minutes gone. East Point with that 1 point slender lead.
Young Bailey Young's come off the ground, Todd, with some sort of ankle or leg injury, so it'll be a bit of a loss in this last couple of minutes.
Chance here for Tallman. Negotiates by hand to Johnson, who went along the line with a tumbly kick. Errant at that, went out of bounds on the full. And a chance for the Devils to rebound. Near 22 minutes gone. Final term here at City Oval. East Point 5-17-47, lead Darley 7-4-46. Devils scoreless in this final term. Kick kept low, was okay to Page. Had plenty of it, Page. He's tried all day. Right foot kick into the forward line. No doubt right on the target. Sets himself, goes to spoil. Who's at ground level? Chance here for Bishop. Fires out the hair pass towards Joel Cadman. High up and under kick. Johnson wanted the hole. Did he get it? No, umpire call play on. Chance for Land across the body. Dribbling ball. Through for a point. Scores level here again.
Any chance of extra time?
22.5 minutes gone. Darley 7-5-47. East Point 5-17-47. The numbers don't lie at the moment, Semi.
I was going to say we couldn't split them pre-game on the stat sheet. We can't split them at the 22.5 minute mark on the score sheet. Down the middle, go East Point. All attack, all or nothing. Johnston couldn't take the mark. Ball hits the deck, in dispute in the middle of the City Oval. Quick kick by Jordan Johnston will just be hurried forward. Opportunity to run onto this one's Canny. Picks it up nicely. Handball over the top was good by the Kangas. Trying to keep it alive. Nice tackle applied by Brett. And in the end, the umpire says, give it to me. And East Point pressing, despite being one player in the down since halftime. Spence, we haven't seen Jacob Brown return after he limped up at halftime.
Yeah, spot on, Sammy. And just for those watching it on the Clutch app will be wondering what happens in the event of a draw. 5 minutes each way for the two sides.
Timely call, Spence. 23.5 minutes gone. Final term here. City Oval, just the 1 goal kick for the term. There'll be a ball up. Tanner won the tap, only as far as Rodamaronis. Hurried kick forward inside 50. Got plenty on it. Kenny!
On the full.
On the full. Kenny, no, he can't. Out of bounds on the full. Well, he did everything right, the youngster, but just caught it over the fence.
Yeah, very well called there, Todd. Darley get a reprieve, and they pounded out of the fence. A high ball in the air. East Point have commanded this zone of the ground this term. Out the back for Tanner. Spun in the tackle. Got his hands free just in time. Baker as well. Quick kick forward there by the Devils towards the boundary line. Will gain some vital territory with scores level here at the City Oval. Just the attacking side of centre wing on the outer wing from our broadcast position here at the lovely City Oval.
Another territory gain kick from Page. He's been terrific. Boundary throw in. Players set themselves. Tanner and Van Meel. Tanner knocked it, looking for Baker. Got boot to ball inside 50 here. 1-on-1. Angwin went to ground. Johnson went to spoil. 50-50 ball. Shoveled out. Chance of Bishop across the body.
Whoa.
1 point. Wow, that could be the best point Riley Bishop's kicked in his life.
Dylan even, yeah, well, either. Ball to come back into play. Sammy, take it away.
Cairns plays on and goes straight down the middle as best he can. Brett with a big spoil. Opportunity for Johnston's wrapped up immediately. And as you said, Todd, that handy point's only been 1 goal scored in this final term, so it won't be a long one. Heart-stopping stuff. A nail-biter at the City Oval. The elimination final. Do or die. And we're back underway. One down for Rodamaronis. Try to get away towards Marr. Off a standing start. He goes over top the attack inside centre wing. Merritt just needs to sit up for him. Just shoveled out a hand pass into space and hope more than anything. Jeffries with the slick ball. East Point continue to rush it forward. Good pressure by the Devils defence. Jeffries held up.
Well done.
And gone holding the ball.
Wow, that was just super from Page. Might have to send the old Warhorse out to the golf club. He's been terrific on that outer side all day. Darley hanging on by a point. Only a minute or so to go, you'd think. Right foot kick to the outer side, centre wing, right of the fly. Too many up, too many down. Ball spills, 3 chances for Thierry, normally good below the knees. As soon as he tried to gather, he was bailed up. Kick across the body, gained some metres. Too many. Went out of bounds on the full. And a chance here for East Point to rebound.
Nervous people in the crowd here, Toddy, and on the ground as well.
Right foot kick along outer side, centre wing, juggling attempted back. Could have been that man again. Page spills out the back. Oh no, foot race on in earnest here. All important contest. Lahure kept his feet, ball at ground level. Heavily umpire adjudicate. He'll ball it up 30 metres out from the East Point goal, directly in front.
Yeah, got away with one there, the Darley defenders. I reckon the umpire's letting them go. Might have had 2 arms around the waist of Geordie Johnston with a ball up.
No one on the goal line. Take it away, Sammy.
Deep inside 50. Jeffries, was he legged or he just fall over in the contest? That's what the Devil fans hope. Johnson just trying to get his way through. Can't. Precious seconds tick off the clock. Ever so valuable in this contest. It's going to come down to the slimmest of margins, you feel. Back underway. McDougall doing the ruck work. Was that over the shoulder? Darley won a free kick. They don't get it. And again, about 35, 40 metres from goal, we have a stoppage inside 50 for East Point.
Darley 48, East Point 47. Near 27 and a half minutes gone, East Point into attack. There's the ball up, ball spills free. Who's going to gather? Hot footy at ground level. Your repeat stoppage, you'd think.
You'd be brave to pay holding the ball here, wouldn't you?
Oh, especially if you drove to the ground. Ball up, 40 metres out from the East Point goal. There's the tap. Favours, well, no one really in particular. Kick across the body, high up and under from low. Big, they'll pay the mark. 3 up, 3 down. Cousins couldn't take the mark. Ball spills free. Tackle taken to the ground. Excellent pressure from the Devils' defence to deny an exit handball there from the Kangas. And there'll be a ball up 15 metres out from the East Point goal.
They need to create a bit of space at the stoppage, the Kangas, otherwise Darley will keep causing repeat stoppages.
Fisted forward to the goal face, in the goal square now. Johnston in there, diving in. There's Ward to lock things up. East Point will take, just rushing it through for a point at this point, just to get it on level terms. 28 minutes gone, final term. Top of the goal square here for East Point. They trail by a single margin. Back underway. Fisted forward. Page to Rotoma Onus. Couldn't get a clean disposal. Did he get taken to the ground without it? Umpire on the spot says no. And another ball up. It was a big call to make. And it favoured the Devils on this occasion.
Yeah, he played up to it a bit, though, Rotoma Onus.
Didn't he make it obvious?
Ball up. Deep into attack, East Point. There's the fly, Van Meal. Ball at ground level. Bit of a stacks on the mill once again. And the umpire will come in and effect another stoppage. Darley 48, East Point 47. Tick under 29 minutes gone, final term. East Point into attack.
Matty Johnson's clearing them out. They need some space through the stoppage here.
Take it away, Sammy.
Back on the way. Tanner with the hands on this one. Bewley trying to get it away. And again, another repeat stoppage inside forward 50. Darley continuing to hold up in defence. 29 minutes now gone. A quick shot is all East Point need. A score they will take. Tanner up early. And again,
holding the ball.
No free kick and just holding on for dear life are Darley into season 2022. They lead by a point, Todd.
Well, we ball up, Van Meal and Tanner. Van Meal won that tap, searching one at that, running onto it. No, Jeffries ran past it in the end. Here they come again. Players in from everywhere. And the umpire says, I'll have it. There'll be another ball up. 40 metres out from the East Point goal. Darley 48, East Point 47. Mad Monday for the loser. A progression and a meeting with Ballarat for the winner. Ball up, tap one by well, square that away. Chance of Matty Johnson to be the hero. Tackle taken to the ground. Kick goes across the face. 20 metres away from the East Point goal before it's knocked over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Desperation by Lahure.
Oh, what a finish to this classic via the vision of Red Onion and the Clutch TV app and Apple 98.5 FM.
30 players inside East Point's forward line here. Tanner with the fist, knocked on by Lahure. Ball in dispute. Ward try to get Boots' ball. Dodd try to pinch off his boot laces. McDougall with the foot candy. Got Boots' the ball just in time. Spisteri with the fist. The inspirational Johnston got it out to Nesta. Right foot snap, won't make the distance. Mark will be paid off hands. Carson of all people couldn't hold on. The veteran defender could have been the hero, and the ball spilled out of bounds.
What a final quarter it's been, Toddy. Fantastic game.
Yeah, well, it's gone longer than an episode of Neighbours this. It's here, 31 minutes gone, final term. East Point into attack. Darley lead by a point. There's the throw-in, Van Meel with the tap.
There it is.
There's the siren. Darley progress through to the first semi-final next week against Ballarat. And they've hung on to win by a point. Can you believe it? Scores were drawn level. We tipped the draw at the start of the game, Sammy. According to the numbers, the offence and the defence said it would be a draw. But it's Darley, something out of nothing in a rare forward 50 entry in that final term, where Dylan Bishop's right foot kick across the body, snuck in for a behind, and no more important behind kicked for the season by the Devils.
Well said there, Todd. And well, Jake Bridges' men have no one else but themselves to blame. 5 goals, 17 today. Couldn't get it done in front of the big sticks. It's a simple story that the scoreboard paints. You get it between the sticks more often than not, you'll win more games of footy than you lose. And you called it well with the Bishop behind. Yeah, the most important behind he'll ever kick potentially in his life. And, well, at the end, going down is East Point, and going down for the final time as the senior coach of the East Point Football Club is Jake Bridges, who won a couple of premierships and couldn't quite get him over the line in this one to make a charge to another.
And the encouraging theme in the aftermath is the sportsmanship shown by both sides. Handshakes and hugs and just full respect between these two rivals. As you said earlier, they've won 4 of the last 5-day premierships, full seasons between them. And today only one could progress. And in this case, it was the Devils, minus Brett Bewley, that were able to hang on and get it done. Scores labelled correct by the goal umpires. It's all official. Darley will become the 4th team that remained in the BFNL season for season 2022. Fridge, let's break the ice with some goal kickers, mate.
Oh, wow, Todd. All singles, so let's not get excited. Angwin for the Devils, Angwin, Spiteri, Young, Rodder, Colley, Johnson and Van Leek. For East Point, Merritt 1, Nestor 1, McDougall, Brown and Cairns.
Well, that was the one for the ages there. It was a real defensive, hard-fought contest battle, and it really lived up to the trademark of finals footy, Spence, with the defence-oriented type of play.
Yeah, spot on, Toddy. And for the Devils, I mean, the focal point all year has been Brett Bewley, and to win an elimination final without him is an enormous effort, and to hold on by a point, like you said, that Dylan Bishop point, to get them home. And they'll meet Ballarat next week in a semi-final, and they win that, they'll win to a prelim. So they've had a good year to date, and that's going to continue. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for East Point, and their season's come to an end. And I think a bit of praise needs to go to Jake Bridges. He's been a fantastic coach for the Kangas and fantastic for the competition. So we obviously wish him all the best in his future endeavours and all the rest of it. So good on him, and good on the Devils. Obviously a great win, and like I said, a great game of finals footy.
Yeah, they'll be made to rue that last term, East Point, while they did all the attacking. They kicked 1 goal, 7 in that last quarter to the Devils' 2 behinds. And really a collective second half assault from East Point. Just amounted to 3 goals, 12 if you don't mind, whilst the Devils were steady with 3 goals, 2 on limited opportunity.
Yeah, that's right there, Todd. I mean, as I said earlier, I mean, it was just about taking the opportunities. We talked about how evenly matched these two sides. It was going to come down to those little moments, and that little moment today was a Dylan Bishop point, but also a credit to the whole Darley back 6 and probably the whole 18. I mean, repeat stoppage after stoppage after stoppage. So easy in those situations to slip one over the shoulder or get a little bit overzealous, or they were just able to just hold up in the contest, and they didn't give away a free kick and didn't give East Point a sniff to pinch it from the clutches. Yeah, that's a good observation. Yeah, with so many players just chasing the one footy deep in East Point's attack, yeah, very easy to give away a free kick, and full credit to the umpires for holding up their end of the bargain and just letting it go and having full respect for both sides going at it, because there was essentially 36 players in one half of the ground in that latter stages.
Yeah, certainly a well adjudicated match, Toddy, and no harder job, especially in a final, to be an umpire. So credit to them today, and credit to the two sides. And like you said, we probably had about 8 minutes of the clock ticking inside East Point's forward 50 for only 2 minutes of actual game time. So for the Devils to hold on for that long and cause repeat stoppages, and East were trying to get some space at the clearance, and they'll be disappointed that they weren't able to get one to run through and even just get a score. We might have had some extra time, but wasn't to be, and Darley were able to hold on.
Yes, the Devils, they led by 5 points at quarter time, stretched it to 11 at the half, led by 12 at three-quarter time, and hung on to win by 1. So, well, he didn't have many possessions for the afternoon. Dylan Bishop may well be the hero of that late point, the sealer, albeit behind, to see the Devils progress into, the first semi-final meeting with Ballarat. But injury concerns, obviously, with Brett Bewley, who missed today. Bailey Young carried off in the end, and Mitch Ward with a shoulder complaint.
Yeah, no, they'll be monitored through the week, Todd, and if they can get Bewley back for that next game against Ballarat, well, he'll be a big asset, because young Dylan Lant probably had one of the worst days he's had of footy that he's played in, and but I'm sure he'll redeem himself. And like you say, to do it without the influence of Brett Bewley and Dylan Lant, I should say, terrific, massive job for the Devils to get the job done. Just showed the maturity of the back six. The back six were very, very good, and their forwards led and presented, and look, their mids were right on top of the East Point mids in the first half, and second half, Rodamonis and Johnson started to get more of the footy. Johnson, up forwards, was starting to get a bit of a break on, but the Johnson kicks weren't easy kicks. They were all hard up on the boundary, so they weren't easy. But look, all in all, terrific game of footy, and onwards and upwards next week for the last 4 sides left in the competition, and Mad Monday for the rest.
Kudos to the Devils back six. I think you're right. I think 4 of them will feature among the better players, and Shane Page, Matthew Brett, another 2 of those terrific.
And I'll give, just noticing through the game, must have great faith in this side, Dan Jordan, to give a Van Leith to run with Johnson on a couple of occasions. It's a youngster playing against a very experienced player.
Rolls the dice and gets the response.
Yeah, just tries things. Not frightened to change it up.
Well, Darley have prevailed here after they led for the most part of the afternoon. East Point levelled the scores with about 10 minutes to go, Sammy, and a late point to Dylan Bishop has put the Devils in front, and it was enough to see them through to a first semi-final appearance against Ballarat. Before we say goodnight, we'll just get a tip from you guys in next week's games. Bacchus, Melton versus Sebastopol, and Ballarat versus Darley.
Well, Sebastopol witnessed yesterday's game for a quarter and a bit, and they looked really, really good. And my man, my love child, Toby Hutt, he was very good. By the same token, Melton, workmanlike, get the job done. That third quarter where they sort of turn the game around and put sides to the sword. Be an interesting contest. Where's that played at, Todd?
Tipping Melton, it could easily be, Fritz.
Okay, well...
But not confirmed.
Well, I'd have to go the Bloods, Todd.
And Ballarat, Darley.
Ooh, here...
It'll be played in Ballarat, just not sure which venue yet.
Okay, well, look, it's a very interesting game. If they get Bewley back and he plays, well, I'll go the Devils.
Spence, quickly, we've got to go.
Yeah, I'll go with Melton, and I'll keep it short as well. Darley for me as well next week.
No Lockie, no Sebas next week for me. I'll go Melton that one, and I think the Swans might bounce back and flex their muscles a little bit. Gibson might play and be the difference.
Todd's nearly knocked him out then.
Melton will go in favourites, and so too will Ballarat, but a real throw at the stumps opportunity for Sebastopol and Darley to progress. Of course, Melton and Sebastopol with the double chance, so not all over for a loss of those teams next